handful of presenters, a mass of microphones, and a whole load of talk. This is TigerTails Radio.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to a delightful, delectable, and otherwise entertaining episode of TigerTails Radio. I'm your host, TK, and in the studio on the webcam thing, we have a Xavier.
Hello.
And we have a Felix.
Hello.
And this is TigerTails Radio Season 7, Episode 28.
28.
So we're well over halfway through the season now.
Indeed, we are.
Woo!
So this is TigerTails Radio. We are here to fill you in on the usual MacGuffin that we fill you in on. We have a relatively packed show. We have a lot of gaming news. We have Done and Dusted. We have Question of the Week. We have our Reviews of the Week.
And we have a Hedgie in the background picking his nose.
Yeah, because he can't apparently speak on mic because his voice is coldish. We also have... Stuff, yeah, Done and Dusted. Review of the Week. Question of the Week.
RolePlay Talk?
RolePlay? No, there's no RolePlay.
Oh, yeah, there's no RolePlay, is there? So, yeah.
Because Florian is
I advertised that as well.
Brazil or somewhere. I don't know.
Venice, last time I checked, but...
Git.
Jealous much.
Fucker.
Oh, come on, it's only Venice.
We have a
what
little
have they got in Venice apart from walls, ice cream, and water?
Not the crap we have in England.
What, rain? I bet they get rain, otherwise all the water wouldn't be there, would it?
But we also have a little bit of television talk. So there may be some time to fill, or there may not be some time to fill. It entirely depends. But we have 20 minutes to break shit.
Yay! And so far, we've actually appeared on time with everything seemingly working.
Seemingly. Notice the cable tie that you can't see there.
Yeah. Fierce this microphone.
No one would have noticed if you hadn't said about it.
This is the conversation that happened before I picked up Felix. Have you got everything, Felix? Yep, I'm packed and fully prepared. Are you sure? Yes, I am sure. I turn up, pick up, head here. Felix then goes, I've forgotten the mount bit for the microphone.
Yeah. Because I was in town playing Ingress. And I had to phone Felix and go, Felix, it's getting a bit late and I might not be back in time. Hedgie should be home to let you all in, but my phone's about to die because I'm running out of battery, so if Pete can't get in contact with me, that's the reason why. By the way, have you got everything? He was like, yes, I have. I've triple checked.
Yay.
I was like, are you sure?
Well, obviously I didn't triple check that one thing.
Obviously. Never thought about making a list and checking it twice. You know, like Santa Claus
Do
does.
I look that fat and jolly?
You want us to say something to that, do you?
It's a rhetorical question.
Rhetorical.
Rhetorical.
It's a question. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, not that I should actually, be talking along those lines and insulting.
I half expected you to go, and I'm going to give you a rhetorical answer.
Rhetorical answer my ass.
I'd rather not, thanks.
No.
If it's all the same with you.
No, we generally don't want to. So we've got like 20 minutes to break stuff and things. We'll do a brief rundown of those in channel. We have, obviously, myself, TK and Felix. We also have Aladasian and DJ.
Hello, guys.
So it seems Bank Holiday Mondays is a good time for everyone to bugger off and not listen to the show.
It's a bank holiday?
Yeah. Why do you think I was out playing Ingress? Because I thought it was Sunday. And then Pete sent a text. I'm like, oh, shit, I should be getting home now.
Yeah.
I
really
didn't
weird.
even know it was a bank holiday today, so...
Yes, it's a bank holiday today. It's been feeling really weird because it's like Sunday was nice and sunny and the fuck all going on.
I got up at about 8 or 9 o'clock and did things.
Did things?
Did things.
Did things?
Who was she?
Who the fuck are you and what have you done with Felix?
Fuck, they're on to me. Lizard men! Attack the mammals!
Ow.
That works.
That wasn't Mike Ow, that was Felix's loud voice Ow.
I've always wanted to yell that out at one point in my life.
Yeah, it's just not in the middle of sex, preferably. Are you thinking about it?
That was scenario number 2, actually.
This could explain why all your girlfriends dump you.
Well, we all know that I obviously only choose to date girls who dump me. Isn't that right, Hedgie?
He's not listening now, he's just joined channel. So for those of you who are delayed on channel, Hedgie has just joined in, may comment on something that you are only just about listening to. Oh dear.
Timing!
Timing! Oh god. So yeah, this is Bank Holiday Monday. It's TigerTails Radio. You can find us at tigertailsradio.co.uk or tigertails.co.uk. We have our gaming site on tigertails.co.uk/gaming. We also have Done and Dusted. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and the like, as well as G+. So if you haven't already, jump onto our sites, like, watch, and subscribe.
And all that jazz.
All that jazz. But I think really, because we can't break anything deliberately, Although maybe the need for a pop guard. We can't break
For you, yeah.
We can't break anything deliberately for the first 20 minutes. So I think, how's the week's been going for everybody? TK, how's your week been?
My week has been filled with ingress. Lots and lots and lots of ingress.
Ingress.
I mean, we all had like a 5-person party, didn't we, on Saturday?
That was Saturday.
Where we all bimbled up to Italy to play ingress and capture a few portals and do things.
Yep.
We did capture a few portals as well.
Yes, we actually managed to capture some portals.
And I got lots and lots and lots of experience, so I'm very nearly level 4 now.
Which is nice. Seeing as you live in Blue Land.
I do, but not anymore.
No.
No, the Enlightened came and went squish on Southampton today.
Yes.
While I was out playing Portal. And so while people were leaving single resonators on a couple of portals, I came along and went, I'll recapture that, thank you very much. I will have some. And, yeah, basically they take the bandstand, which I'm not happy about, because I was going to use that for a major triangle with Eastleigh.
Yes.
And so what did the Enlightened do? They captured the bandstand and the Eastleigh railway station and have made the links that I wanted to make.
Oh, fuck us.
And it was like, bastards! Because I was going to do serious work with that, but they've beaten me to it, so I'm just going to have to...
Divvy up a party and attack it, or wait for somebody else to attack it?
Well, I really need to get some more bursters, because I used up all of my bursters today.
Well, I'm not surprised. It's one of those kind of intensive weeks.
Yes.
That,
this week has absolutely been a nightmare for my equipment.
If you actually actively go out and play the game aggressively, you suddenly lose all of your shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I find on days.
All of my keys are gone. Yeah. All of my bursters are gone. I've got millions of resonators still, though.
Yeah, you will. You'll have plenty of that crap, but it's like all of the important stuff you just won't have.
I've got some level 4 bursters I can't use yet, which is very frustrating.
Oh.
I'm like 3,000 AP away from level 4, and it's sat there going, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Hack 30 portals, bitch, and enemy portals, and then you can have me.
So, that's just wrong. So have you been doing anything else over the week?
Yeah, I've been looking into a couple of bits and bobs, and some lovely equipment that I'll never be able to use because I can't draw.
Okay.
Which, yeah, there's a piece of software called Toon Boom Harmony.
What?
Toon Boom Harmony.
Yeah, I heard you the first time. I'm still going, what?
Yeah, it's basically animation software.
Ah.
Exceedingly powerful animation software, and it's the reason I watched what I watched for Done and Dusted.
Oh, I see. So you're doing homework, effectively.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new avenue for Target Entertainment animation. I just need to find an artist. Or 12.
And Evie goes, oi! Yeah.
Because I can imagine Evie would be really, really happy to do lots of animation, yeah.
Well, it's Evie. I'm sure she'd be willing to help if we asked her really nicely.
I think if we paid her lots of money, she might be willing to help, because animation is a bitch.
Yeah, I tried to do that when I was at school for one of my projects, and fucking hell, let's minutely change one aspect of a picture and then have to redraw the rest of the picture. Fuck you.
Well, that's a great thing about Toon Boom, is you don't necessarily have to do that. And you can actually design your workflow around how you want to work.
Yes.
Which is a lot like Scrivener, the writers program. Except for artists to do animation with, and it's brilliant.
Yes.
And exceedingly expensive.
Yes, they normally are.
But to put it into context, Toon Boom is some of the software Disney use. So it is actual, proper, industry standard software. They're like, yeah.
It takes a little bit of homework time, to be honest, to officially get your head around that.
Yeah. It does look exceedingly
it's the same with any half-decent productivity program.
Yeah, it does look exceedingly complicated, but the ways it lets you work is absolutely outstanding. And I was looking at it going, this isn't software, this is voodoo magic. This is crazy. It's no wonder they are the leaders in their field.
Technology and magic?
Technology and magic.
Muggle magic gone berserk, yeah.
Oh, God, I've missed that. I really, really haven't.
I love it.
Technology. Yeah, we don't understand technology. You're right, you don't.
And yes, and then I spent time watching Microsoft's conference.
Yeah, that was Tuesday last week.
That was just after the last show.
And
Bastards.
then all of the fucking news sites and everything else. But we'll get to that in the gaming news section where we're going to have to fill.
Oh, yeah.
Felis.
Why do you think I brought up the technology and magic?
Technology and magic.
Because I heard that a lot.
Yeah, it's magic. It's magic that always listens.
Anyway, Felis, how has your week been? Have you actually done anything is the first question.
I've done some writing bits, some spriting bits.
Spriting?
Spriting.
Is that right with Sprite? I'm going to be doing this a lot.
And I bought a PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
succumbed. He's
I
bought
finally
the
got round to getting one.
Yeah, he's
Even I
bought
don't
the
have one of them yet.
Indie's friend, to be honest. Oh, there's things I can open and possibly destroy.
That's the
permanently.
cartridge area.
I want a Vita.
Memory card area.
No,
Memory
that's the
card.
game part.
Oh, proprietary software. All right, you can put 2 in. No, you can't.
No, you can't. That's for future editions that they haven't mentioned.
Expansionums.
that's
Yeah.
for something else. Back touch. Ugh, it's all greasy. What the hell have you been touching you with on this?
Things.
Do we
the
really
power,
want
the
to know
power
stuff?
slot. The power slot. Yet again, Sony have gone, no, we won't just have like a little circular thing to plug in, or even a USB style thing. We'll have our own particular design thing. Because you want that.
No.
He's feigning disinterest every time I threaten to throw it.
Throw it my way, all of it.
No.
And now he shows interest.
No.
Now he shows interest.
The power thing had to be designed that way because it's a combined data transfer and power, so...
Yeah. It's a
Bollocks.
bit of a fuck. It really is.
Yeah.
It's like, USB isn't good enough anymore. We'll do something better.
Yeah, they generally try and do that kind of shit, but it always annoys you when you have that kind of change.
My only problem
It's
with it is
like,
just how expensive the memory cards actually are.
Welcome to Sony.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I had this discussion with you, didn't I, TK?
Yeah.
Because we've been discussing it a lot before I bought it. The issue is that the Vitas themselves are sold at a loss.
Mm-hmm.
So Sony tried to make up some of that loss on these stupidly priced storage cards you need to use anything for it with.
Yeah.
And, okay, they need to make up their money, but if they'd done that the other way round, I don't think people would have been quite as pissed off.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know, because people were pissed off at having like 200 quid for a handheld console. That did annoy a few people.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
Yeah.
They pretty much have designed a miniature PS3.
Yeah.
Well, that was the main pitching point, wasn't it, for the Vita?
Yeah,
it
It's
was
like the power of
effectively...
PS3 in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, and cost as much. At which point you go...
£400!
Yes,
Oh,
we're
and
looking
Robinson.
at you and Robinson. We're looking
But again,
at
they had the same
you.
problem with the PS3 to begin with in the price point.
Yeah,
And Robinson.
we won't talk about the one yet then.
We won't work with the Anne Robinson was the problem with the PSP, was it?
No, with the PS3, remember?
They're selling.
Yeah, Anne Robinson's the problem then, yeah?
Yeah, and Robertson is always a problem. Especially with that wink she does.
Oh, God, no, that's creepy. So, anything else you've
Jimmy
done?
Savile was bad.
Oh, God, anything else you've done this week? Sentence.
That's been pretty much it. Game work and then playing games. And starting off watching Defiance, but we've got more of that later.
More of that later, yeah. So, my week has been filled partly with training
And
this
Ingress.
week. A lot of walking and ingress in Bournemouth, because basically... because my job is in Bournemouth, I can drive in stupidly early, walk around Bournemouth because it helps me keep fit, doing ingress, which is always good fun, then going to work to train up. This week has been partly soft skills and roundups, and partly sat in front of a computer going, oh my fucking God, this is boring, and then occasionally listening to someone doing the job, which I want to do. And I'm sat there going, let me do the goddamn job! Damn you! Customer service is my thing! Fuck you! Ugh! And everyone is like going, but we just want to do this. I know we don't know how to do it, but we just want to do this now.
Yeah, we learn by getting stuck in. Let us get stuck in.
I think that's the thing. I do. I'm very much a hands-on person, and I've listened to how they do, take the telephone calls, and I'm sat there going, customer service? Customer service. I can do this better than you. Customer service. Customer service. Never mind. So I've got the remainder of this week and one day learning how to sort out the systems so I can process people's claims.
Uh-huh.
That's an entire week of learning how to do claim stuff. Yay! A little bit of budgeting before I go into what they call the model office, which is where we do more listening in, more looking at computer screens and learning stuff, and occasionally taking calls and speaking to customers, or typing on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
They alternate, and that will run all the way until August, whereupon they will then stick us in teams.
Okay.
So effectively, we'll just be trickle-fed certain telephone calls to get us up to speed. We have to pass a certain quality, and then once we've done that, we can then get into the main actual office as it is.
Yeah.
So we are then part of Prue Health, officially.
Aha.
But in the meantime, I have been doing a lot of walking and stepping. I have been updating both mine and the TigerTails page with my weight loss, because I'm determined to actually get around to doing this. Previously, I've gone, yeah, I'll lose weight, and then that was the last comment that anyone ever saw.
After, we mocked the whole thing, we did offer support afterwards.
Support. They said, talking to their screens, I'm offering you support. I'm not typing it, they're offering you support. But no, I mean...
I've got to go back to Facebook now, haven't I, and see what was typed.
You have to have a look, yeah. This is why I
think it's mostly me and Alex.
Yeah, mostly you and Alex. The guy who doesn't need to lose weight, in actual fact,
That's pretty much what I said.
To put more weight on than TK, and Alex, who probably would also benefit from playing Ingress. Not to say that he is largesse, but he would benefit from
Which
playing
Alex?
Ingress. Not little one, obviously.
I don't know, because Little Alex has Ingress.
Yes.
Now?
Has he? Oh,
Yeah.
thank God.
Yeah, he was playing... When we hit Shirley, in like a little group of us, he whipped out his phone and he'd joined the resistance as well. And I was like, when did you do that? And he was like, ages
It's
ago.
only a matter of time before
Yeah.
they surround me and just hold out droid phones going, one of us.
Seriously.
One of us.
If TK does that, just slap him. Because obviously...
Even you were kind of doing it when I said I got a
biggest-
Vita.
yeah.
You went, you can't play Ingress on that.
Notice the smiling face. I was trolling. I realise you have everything-ophobia and can't go outside. So, I understand the hurdle we have to get you over before we can even give you a fucking decent phone. For God's sake.
I don't know, I think giving him the decent phone should be like the first step.
No, because then he'll sit indoors and go, I can play on
there
an
we go.
Android phone now.
But then we can get him like to his front door and playing Ingress. And then maybe like 3 or 4 steps playing Ingress.
There we go. Pete's weight update was, after 2 weeks of extra walking and more healthy food, I am now 15 stone, 2 pounds.
Yeah.
Big Alex, Salamander 3, instantly put up a little picture of some girl on the bed going, I've been dieting all morning. Am I skinny yet?
Yeah, I've seen that one a few times.
Which I then liked, both as TigerTails Radio
and
myself.
Yes.
Because, why
Double
not?
likes. Double likes for the win.
And then I had to say, by the way, after a year of doing as little walking as possible, I'm still exactly 87 kilograms.
Yeah.
Which is in English.
Don't even start with that shit. Do you want to know how many different
approximately
ways?
12 and a half stone.
Do you want to know how
12
many?
and a half stone.
12 and you're tiny.
You're heavier than I am.
Now
It's just not fair, is it?
TK now begins to cry. But do you know how fucking annoying it is to try and get your weight sorted out in pounds and fucking stone?
It's 13 pounds to the stone. Which
Yeah,
is easy to remember.
Yeah, there's conversion stuff, but it's like, right, I now need to go to this website to put this in.
I thought it was 16 pounds to the stone. 14, okay. So we were all wrong.
Contradiction! Oh, it's frustrating as fuck, I'll tell you that. It really is.
16 ounces to a pound.
Oh, that was it.
Pounds to a stone.
Yeah.
16 ounces to a pound.
And to be honest, it just really is just so frustrating trying to do the back end work. But it is working for me because I'm walking a lot more around in Bournemouth. I am actually going the right way in the weight loss, and I'll keep updating because
I just realised I did make a comment on the Facebook that's not there anymore for some reason. But I did essentially say, all joking aside, we're proud of you. I really did say that. But it's just not there.
Honestly, I did. I said it.
In his mind, he dreamt it.
Oh, dear God. But hey ho, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much mostly been my week. I've
Pete,
also
I've got a
watched.
question, actually.
Yes.
What time can you get away from life on Sunday?
From life.
Also, can we take some more pictures of the studio? Because the cover for our photos on Facebook is not the best one in the world.
Yes, I will take some more pictures of the studio.
Can't you wait until we tidied it first?
No, because all I do is go la 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 la.
Wait a second.
One.
That's not fair.
Now he is blind. Well done.
Aha!
Photoception.
Oh, fuck, that's set to the front camera.
Ah,
Oh, fuck, that's recording.
I learned technology, mate.
TigerTails Radio YouTube, please.
And it's now saving a video.
Yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah. I mean, I'm doing a lot more walking, which is good. I'm eating a lot healthier because it's like we went into Southampton today, and every motherfucker with a camera. I will take that. But it's like I've been eating a lot more healthier because I came in Southampton today and was like, let's try Ed's fucking draw. And it was like, no, I won't have the massive greasy burger of doom. I'll have chicken something. And I ate that, and I went, my fucking god, that didn't fill me.
So wait, you sat there talk about eating healthier, and then you head up to somewhere and go, I'll take the chicken burger, 3 baskets of fries with extra nachos.
No, I only had the chicken burger. There was a side of fries between us, and I didn't have dessert. I'm being consciously healthy for the desperate attempt to get rid of, one keg down here. Eventually, I'm going to have, once I've actually got my wages up, I'll even think about going to the gym. I'll think about it.
Wait, do you mean the place where you work out or the
gym?
backstreet liposuction surgeon?
No, because I can't get that on the private medical insurance.
So, not the quack gym?
No.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's pretty much mostly been my week. Bank holiday Monday's been not too bad. I've enjoyed the sun and the wind. Saturday, I had to have my health check before I did the wandering around Eastleigh for Ingress. That was interesting because it was a case of, I've never done one of these before. I wonder how many fucking needles I'm going to have. Fortunately, none. But it was a case of Lass did like the whole tape measuring thing. It's like, we need your hips and we need your waist. What do you need? You need my hips. So you also need your hips measurement. Okay. 90 whatever inches. Or something. No, centimetres.
I was going to say, 90 inches is a tad large.
This is the problem. It's like so many metric assload of measurements for different things. You sit there and go, size, weight, dimensions. So, yeah, I mean, I had that. Then Sunday, I did shopping on Sunday. Yeah, I did shopping on Sunday. That was amusing. And that's pretty much been my week. I'm looking forward to yet another week of training in an office. In the weirdest built office ever. It gets hotter the further down, the lower you are to ground floor. Cooler high up, hotter down low.
That's unusual.
Yeah. Because, heat should rise. But I think their air conditioning has this interesting feature. It's a case of, we pump all the cold air up and push it then from the top down to see if we can, heat everything, cool everything down. Only it doesn't. It just makes this cushion of hot air that sits on the first few floors. Which is great during summer. It's like, smart casual. What does smart casual mean? No clothes! Really?
That's quite casual.
That's very casual. Not true. Very casual. But that's pretty much it, but really for my week. So we managed to fill 23 minutes. You are still listening to TigerTails Radio at tigertails.co.uk or tigertailsradio.co.uk. If you want to, you can find us via the main page on IRC. We are also available on IRC as well. Or you can leave comments on our Facebook, Google+, or via the YouTubes, because we are also on the YouTubes. And just let us know what you think about various things that we wish on about. And this leads smoothly.
I've just taken a photo of the screen I'm looking at.
Wow.
Oh, you muppet.
Looks like I've just found something very interesting off screen somewhere.
So this is where we normally smoothly transition into the gaming news, but as the person who's manning the buttons is away from his desk, we can't.
Sorry, what are we after?
Gaming news.
Okay, yeah, I've actually got that queued. Check me out.
Now it's time for the latest gossip from the Silicon Grid. This is the gaming news.
Yay. So, yes, we have a boatload of news. Unfortunately, it will be slightly skewed towards a major developer, producer of console game type thing.
Yeah, let's talk about PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Yay.
What I think we'll start off, though, is a little bit of Ingress talk, because we went down to Eastleigh on Saturday.
Let's not give away too many secrets here.
We went down to Eastleigh on Saturday and kicked some ass, and then had our ass soundly handed back to us.
Well, by one person.
By one person.
But then,
I'm sorry, you said that just as the phrase "sinister fudge wizard" came up on my screen, and was it a sinister fudge wizard who handed your ass to you?
No, it was Tanya something.
Tanya Jane,
who basically went, "Have fun." We did.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm level 8, you're not. Squish.
Yeah, and then she wandered around, and all our hard work she did undo within 20 minutes of walking.
But then, what do you expect? She's level 8. She just goes, oh, look, 3 bursters and you're dead.
Yeah.
But it does give us a chance to level up, so...
Yes, that's what we want if ever we are to go back to Eastleigh, which we probably will, because that was quite a fun little jaunt in Eastleigh. To be honest, it's a good jaunt in driving distance in Southampton, that you can spend half hour maxing everything out and then fucking off somewhere else.
Yeah.
To be fair.
It's quite nice. I mean, we need to hit Southampton soon because, damn, that needs I need to restock.
Yeah,
heavily.
I mean, to be honest, Southampton is still blue. If you're wondering what we're talking about, put on Google Ingress, and you will find the website, which, if you want to join and play, you can have a look at. And the basic idea is you have your Android phone, you go out and you wander around with your GPS and your mobile internet all turned on, so your battery life is fucked. And you find these mythical portals that are usually found around things like historical landmarks, pieces of art, post offices, pubs, things like that, train stations. You hack them, you take them over with various pieces of kit you get from hacking, you link them, and then after about an hour of doing this and doing all this lovely hard work and fucking off home thinking, I'm so good, some motherfucker comes along and goes, squish!
And undoes all your hard work.
Yes. Although you can also go to Ingress/Intel and actually have a look and see.
I think actually I need to thing first though. Because it asks you to log in.
Oh yes, you need to log in. So you can actually just log in and have a look once you've gotten access to the beta. Because invites, no, we can't do invites. I've not seen. We've got the option of doing invites, but we can't do invites. And it's this amusing little game, and it means that you have clusters of places where people who congregate under the same ideals share this game around, and then like take over things. Because Eastleigh is green. Portsmouth
normally blue.
Normally blue. There's a little bit of green. Portsmouth is majority blue, but there's some green going towards Southampton. Isle of Wight is probably the best battle zone in the world ever, and I do plan on at some point taking a group of people down there.
Yeah, that'd be
just driving around the Isle of Wight. Things like
that should take all of 8 minutes driving around the Isle of Wight.
Yeah, but
tiny.
You zoom further out, and it's like you look at Salisbury in this white wath of blue. I haven't even gotten to Europe. London is a clusterfuck. So it's a really amusing game, and it's great because it means you're walking or cycling or just actively going out to places. And when you're playing this game, you are occasionally looking at people with their phones out in their hands and headphones in.
Yeah.
Idly wondering, are you playing Ingress? Sidle past, look down at phone. Yes, you are. Okay. All good fun. So yeah, we headed to Eastleigh. Oh, Eastleigh's got a bit of blue. Eastleigh on Saturday with 4 in my car, including me.
There were 4 in the car, and we met up with Sly Cat while we were at Eastleigh.
Yep, because it was also an excuse to see Sly Cat. It's 50-50 now.
What, on the map?
Yeah,
what?
There's a big chunk of blue up north, and then a big chunk of green down south. Oh no, that's Winchester. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong fucking thing. That's another thing we have to go to.
Yes, we need to play Winchester, because that's a big green ground.
There, Eastleigh's still green. And it's like this little park area, tiny little park area, which we just wandered up and down and occasionally walked out of our way to the Pirelli factory and the cemetery, because cemeteries also are quite good for this as well.
Apparently. Because, capturing portals over people's dead bodies is fine.
And we spent a good hour and a half just wandering around.
Yep.
Getting my step count up, which was quite nice, and getting some sun, which is awesome, especially during the weather that we had at the moment. So yeah, if you're interested in actually getting out and being active and playing a game, toddle on down to ingress.com and see about signing up for the beta, especially if you have a Android phone. It won't be, as far as I'm aware, available. As far as I'm aware, I don't think anything like this is coming to iPhone. So it's only Android phones. Currently. Yeah. But that's
damn it.
Fun.
They've relinked the Isle of Wight.
I know, it's a whole bunch of clusterfucks all over the place. But we'll mention this briefly as we go through the summer, because, it's sunny. We like walking. The other thing
Has anybody got any bursters they can give me?
No. The other thing that I think we need to mention as we're going forward in terms of weird-ass games, Curiosity.
Oh, yes, I got one.
Yeah, someone won it. By a Brit, of all people. If you're interested, it is available now on news sites, showing the footage of Molyneux in the box talking to the person who won. Let's put it this way. Oh, Felix, go on.
My 2 original estimations of what magical, life-changing thing could be in the box were A, a delicious nougaty center.
Yep,
that'd be nice.
And B, a picture of Peter Molyneux in a bikini, lounging on a pile of microtransaction monies.
I could live with that.
And that would change your life forever, not for the better mind, but
I could live with that.
Well, with the big, gooey nougat filling, would that be something we could bathe in?
Yes. Yes, it could.
Yes, it could.
Awesome. I want that now.
But this is effectively, he is like in this little white cube background talking about what you won. And effectively, it's life-changing, declared by Molyneux. But this is Molyneux, remember? And he has basically been granted godhood for the next game, Goddess. Not like we mentioned that in a show beforehand, where clearly this was for Goddess. But yes, he will be the god. He will set the rules for this game in Goddess, where you are playing a god with your own little people. So he'll be like the over-god of everyone else. Whilst he still is over-god, he will then also get money every time people spend money on Goddess. My first thought when I saw this video was, well, fuck that guy, I'm not buying the game.
Pretty much, mostly because of he promised things and then what was actually there. But again, this is kind of his thing. He's made passable games. He's just got a habit of really talking overstating his own abilities.
I mean, Goddess sounds really nice, but it is black and white, effectively. It's like you're a god of your own people, you influence them in their own ways, and there's this overriding god, which is different, but it's like, whilst you're still overriding God. So potentially there's a way of dicking this guy over then, and we get a slice of the monies then, do we? Kill the guy.
I think the best way to dick him over is to just not buy the game, so he gets fuck all.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I said, during surveys taken in the last couple of months or so, people pretty much didn't give a shit what was inside anymore. They were just finding new ways to do things on the cube itself. Like leaving notes for complex equations chipped into the surface.
Which I found amusing, because it's like no one cared.
Yeah.
No one for Schnagada cared about the bullshit that he was talking about, and they just did their own thing anyway. I mean, that is an interesting, experiment in itself. It's just that we care not a jot, I suppose. But that was Goddess. That's now a thing that's gone.
Goddess.
What will we mock now?
Yeah, that was Curiosity. That's the thing that has gone. I mean, to be honest, we can mock Game Dev Tycoon for a bit. Mock. There we go. Game Dev Tycoon.
And I'm the one that sunk a couple of hours into playing.
Yes, I know you did. You mad fool. Good news, though. Watch Dogs, the game that I'm actually wanting to buy for the PC.
Haven't we all just sat there drooling over it since E3 last year?
Yeah, and it's brilliant. It's been announced for all platforms, including PC.
All right, you were a bit more indifferent, but even you went, that looks kind of interesting.
It looks really quite awesome, but I'm never going to play it.
Yeah, you'll probably watch somebody else play it.
I'll watch someone else play it quite happily, but I'm never going to play it myself.
Oh, it's 3D sickness.
And I can't play for very long, so a video I can just stop at any time.
Have you actually tried playing 3D games with settable FOV?
He's tried a lot.
I've tried lots of things, and it just depends. Some games get me almost instantly. Other games I could last about half an hour, but then on different days, I could last 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's like he came in, watched me playing Call of Duty, then fucked off and threw up. And after about 20 minutes, he came back again.
Yeah.
You finished? I'll still play.
My mother is like that for a lot of games, so... Once I found her son with wider fields of view, she stopped being quite as sick whilst she was playing.
Yeah.
Minecraft, I can generally go through for a good long time.
3 hours so far.
Yeah, 3 or 4 hours easily. That doesn't seem to affect me in any way, shape, or form. But then I don't play it full screen. I play it small screen.
Yes.
And so that might have something to do with it.
Probably. But yes, Watch Dogs, they've now unveiled the pre-order bonuses. Oh, excuse me.
That's a snazzy-looking suit in the pre-order.
Yeah, it's effectively exclusive single-player mission, which will probably be to buy later on, a black Viceroy's outfit, and a biometric assault rifle. This is pre-ordering at, which is pre-ordering where? Let's see.
Amazon,
Amazon and GameStop. You know, the places that we always pre-order from. Whether or not you'll get other stuff from other places, we've not yet had confirmed, but from GameStop, players will get the Palace Pack, which includes an investigation bonus to unlock side missions, and ATM hack boost increase for cash rewards.
Usually in the past, it's been GameStop exclusives you also get from Game over here. And it's the Best Buy things that you also get from Amazon.
Yeah, the big problem, I think, is Game kind of hit a big rough patch here. GameStop is kind of going through that, what the hell do we do with the new next-gen shit, seeing as everybody hates the second-hand market. You know, even though they're getting on board with the next-gen stuff, we'll mention that as we go through. EA news, Star Wars Battlefront opportunity is very exciting, kind of confirming exactly what everyone was hoping. So this is after Electronic Arts announcing exclusive rights to publish games with the Star Wars license. There was a certain amount of cautious optimism. EA has generally taken its licks in the recent years for a lot of their stuff, but we could actually be getting some games that we want for a long time. And apparently a new Battlefront game could carry a lot of weight. And this is from EA CFO Blake Jorgensen, who has come out and said a whole load of crap.
Kind of like Finnish or Danish or something.
Yeah, he's also said a whole lot of shit.
Jorgensen or something, not
Jorgensen, yeah.
He has stated two things about the game.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a game.
Not going to be based specifically on any of the upcoming movies. However, it will be released at the same time in order to leverage the marketability of it.
Yeah, because at the moment, everyone hates Star Wars. So they're going to have an opportunity to do a new Battlefront game. They're talking about
the same presentation where they're talking about Battlefront. They also confirmed NBA Live 2014 and promised that EA will be continuing to publish games for this generation of consoles until 2017.
Yes,
which is good.
Which is good, but then it's expected. I mean, let's be honest. What's the current install base for the 360 and the PS3?
Lots.
The world. What's the current install basis for the next gen? No one.
You see, I've got some thoughts on the install base for that, which tie into what we'll be talking about for the one and everything else.
Yes,
in
which we'll get
short while.
Moving on, away from the big bit, we'll be talking about Warhammer Quest. Anyone remember that one? Anyone? No, fine. Warhammer Quest. I remember this because I bought that bloody box. Warhammer Quest is apparently hitting iOS, which may hopefully mean it will come to Android. May 30th. So it's getting more representation in the app stores next week. Warhammer Quest is set to hit on May 30th. It's $4.99, although that may translate to whatever for the English one.
You could buy the base for one of the model characters for that much.
Can't you say $4.99?
$4.99.
Because you're making it sound like it's nearly $500, which for an iOS game is a little expensive.
Well, that is more or less what you have to sink into a Square Enix mobile game these days.
Kind of. It is based on the 1995 tabletop game that I played, and it itself was a spin-off from standard Warhammer. Eurogamer, which is where this report is coming from, states its universal app supports cloud saves, so you'll be able to swap between playing on your iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch. The dungeon crawler is coming from Rodeo Games, the studio behind the Hunters series of games, and will run on the same engine. The screenshot actually looks pretty good and pretty much like a fully animated version of the board game, like the tile sets and the characters. So I'm just really annoyed it's on a fucking iPad, because it's like, for God's sake, just put it on Android. It will give me a reason to buy a Nexus 7. All those pad things, you know.
Actually, on the topic of forthcoming games,
yes,
I've made a post about this to the TigerTails gaming page, but for those of you who don't go there very often,
which is most people from what I understand, you can find it on TigerTails Radio /gaming.
No, tigertails.co.uk/gaming.
Oh, that's probably why they can't find it then.
Yeah, because you're giving them the wrong address. Yes, www.tigertails.co.uk/gaming, and you'll see a post on there about a game coming called Beast's Fury.
Beast's Fury.
Which seems to be the next generation of anthropomorphic animals duking it out.
Yes.
Which makes me happy, because I've not seen one of those since, technically Bloody Roar, I suppose, although they had humans in them.
And if you read the post, it's almost word for word what he's written on the post.
Brutal Paws of Fury is what I mentioned on the post.
Yes,
because holy shit, that was awesome. And to basically have a spiritual sequel almost to that makes me very happy in the pants. Obviously, it's nothing to do with Brutal Paws of Fury, but it's a spiritual sequel. It's Anthro characters having a fight.
Yeah, currently they're on Indiegogo, according to your thing, and they've gotten $5,000. They are looking.
They've got $7,500 now.
Oh, okay, 7,500.
Which is what their next year is. They need to get 20,000 to get a demo out, or 200,000 to get the full game out.
Yeah.
So they need your support, people.
I don't know how well that will go down, to be honest.
Well, they're not going to get 200,000 on this Indiegogo, no. But this is just basically just to keep things going. They need money. So they've got the 5,000 they needed to stop Indiegogo taking a huge chunk.
Yes.
And they've got a bit extra, which helps them continue their work.
Yes.
But they need more. Every cent, because it's in American dollars, every cent counts.
Absolutely.
Give them the love.
Okay, other gaming news, Felis.
Speaking of things that are coming out, Hideo Kojima...
Felis is coming out!
We always knew it was true.
Edgy, go.
This is why all the girlfriends dump him.
Yes!
Secretly, he's gay.
Yay!
I mean, look at him. He's so well turned out.
So happy.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Anyway, you were saying, Felix.
Hideo Kojima and Platinum Games have both confirmed that Metal Gear is coming back to the PC.
Fuck you.
No,
Hands up, who cares?
Fuck you.
All the people who cares,
like
raise your hand.
Earlier, the two things that fans of Hideo Kojima's game have been asking for have been A, motherfucking Zone of the Enders, please.
Is Pete wearing grey pants?
I wasn't looking because I am straight.
Sorry, but everybody on the webcam just got a wonderful shot.
Sorry.
The room's out tonight.
Back into the...
That's a screen cap for later.
So yeah, Metal Gear Rising. Yeah, because fans have been asking for the PC versions to come back out again because they would.
Pete's gone very red. Does that mean he is wearing grey pants?
I do not know. I do not want to know. And thank you for the update on your chosen style of underwear. So, starting off with Metal Gear Rising Revenge Imminent.
Who
will be coming back out on PC.
Seriously.
And,
I think we've just killed Pete.
keep going.
Norm's the name, Sensible's the game.
Are you sure? Do you want to keep it brief?
That's a very bad.
Nine!
No,
just turn it back on. Turn it off, damn it.
Shady. What do I do? Ooh.
Keep going.
No, give me.
Well, he plays with the buttons, or lack of buttons. Oh, he's found the camera section.
Oh, yeah.
No, don't do that. That gets you classed as a Nazi salute if you're a member of UKIP.
Anyway,
I was just shouting 9.
What Felix is trying to say is that Metal Gear Rising is coming to the PC. No one cares.
And
we want Zoe 3.
And the next Metal Gear game as well, whatever it's called, Ground Zeroes / Phantom Pain.
Grand Zeroes and Phantom Pain.
Both of them are confirmed.
The same game.
Should we threaten to post him Pete's pants if he doesn't release Zoe 3?
Please, I'll live with that. Atari is now auctioning off game assets in July, and they've actually already started it with
infograms.
Jesus Christ!
I knew I'd do it with them eventually.
This is in reference to a conversation we had before the show where TK couldn't remember who the hell it was that has taken over Atari. So he shouts it down the microphone.
I remembered it now. I am Brady Smart.
The auction will include the Atari name itself, Roller Coaster Tycoon, as I've already mentioned, and Test Drive. Now, the Wall Street Journal reports that the pool of auctions is set to start at $22.2 million. The Atari brand itself will start at $15 million. Roller Coaster Tycoon will start at $3.5 million. Test Drive, $1.1 million. Other auctions include Total Annihilation franchise for $250,000. A bundle of properties including, Humongous Fatty Bear's Birthday Surprise and Math Grand Prix, $500,000 floor. And the auctions will take place over the 4 days beginning the 16th of July. They filed for bankruptcy back in January and have been seeking a buyer for its logo and IPs. Report states that it's reached out to 180 potential purchasers and only 15 submitted preliminary bids, probably because people have been doing this for THQ and don't have any more money.
Exactly. Can we buy Atari?
Well, you got tuppence.
I got a few pennies in my penny jar.
Let's probably get you Atari. Right, any other news?
Meanwhile, I'm trying to find out the developer now.
Is it infograms?
No. People have been playing a game called Tomodachi Collection New Life for the 3DS. Might have noticed that they had the new option of allowing male characters to marry and raise children together.
Yes, yes, I remember this.
Yes, and it generated quite a lot of buzz. People were thrilled. They're posting pictures of their gay couples online. Basically, for some bizarre reason, female characters can do it, but male characters could.
There's a sentence you can take out of context, folks.
Yeah. However, Nintendo has then come out and went, this is a bug in the game, in human relations that becomes strange, and it will be immediately squashed in the next patch.
Immediately!
Yeah. That patch has already been released. So anybody that likes to have their gay couples in Tomodachi Collection New Life should really not avoid the new patch, even though it does,
So not avoid the new patch.
Quite a lot of the other patch. Don't avoid a new patch.
Don't avoid the new patch.
Right.
So no, do avoid the new patch.
Avoid it. That's what I thought you were doing wrong. It's like, why are you telling us not to avoid it? Surely we should be avoiding it.
Sorry.
Yes. News reporting at its
distracted
finest.
by somebody
I can say this is TigerTails Radio. This isn't Sky News. Jeez.
You mean phone news?
Exactly.
I mean Fox.
Rupert Murdoch News. Oh, basically they're the same thing. So Fox News.
How many players online at the moment, Pete?
I don't know. I don't know how to use this.
It's technology. We don't give it to Pete.
He sat there playing with all the Vita options.
Good. Have fun.
I don't know what he's doing right now.
I'm getting flowers. Keep going.
Stop getting things. I need that space.
Flowers is awesome. Oh,
Sunflowers. The game.
Oh, I see. Is it free?
Don't click. Don't click.
I don't know. It doesn't say. Let's have a look.
Did he just click?
He's clicking, and I'm not sure if it's going to come up with an option to buy or not.
I'm thinking.
Buy now. Free game trial. Download. No, you don't want that. Looks shit.
No, I don't want to buy any more games right now.
But he does want the free trial.
No, I don't.
Free stuff is cool.
Basically, if it's the near option. If you find other people with games, you can get items in those games.
Oh, yeah.
It's got blades. What the fuck?
We're just going to sit here and just watch Pete. Okay, so I'll move on to other things. What else have I got?
Can we talk about the one yet?
No.
Okay.
We can't talk about the one yet.
Sony is apparently considering spinning off its entertainment division, and by what I mean, they could put its film studio and music business up for sale. So they're considering a proposal from a leading shareholder that it could sell off to 20% of its entertainment division. Hedge fund Third Point, which owns a 6.5% stake in Sony, suggested last week that the company should sell as much as a fifth of its entertainment units, including its US-based film and television studio and its music business, in an initial public offering. In a letter hand-delivered to Sony CEO, Kaz Hirai last week.
Yay, Kaz Hirai!
Damn you. US billionaire and Third Point founder Daniel Loeb.
Where is it on the screen?
Loeb. L-O-E-B. What?
Daniel
Loeb said a move would help raise cash to revitalize the company's electronics unit before they actually start selling. This underlines a severe lack of confidence in selling the PS4 at this point. Slightly. Now, they've already said that they've swung an annual profit for the first time in 5 years, recording a net income. So, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure why they would be proposing to sell their entertainment side, but then Sony Entertainment has been sketchy at best at times, really, especially with some of its music stuff. I mean, let's be honest, whoever uses fucking Media Go or whatever it is.
No one!
Yeah, I try to avoid it as best I can, but sometimes
unless they're
can't.
poor and unfortunate and have a Sony mobile phone, in which case they get screwed by it.
Pretty much.
Have fun with that, Xperia users!
Yep, that's pretty much what I get.
Yes.
In Shirley, there are only like 5 people playing on a Vita right now.
That's just scary.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, but from where I am in St. Mary's, in the 1 kilometre radius.
Yeah.
St. Mary's.
Yeah. I get... Oh, fuck.
It's like 200.
Yeah, I get... Like, first day I turned it on, it's like, hey, there are like 25 people playing. This morning, 46 people playing on their Vitas right now within a kilometre of you.
There's a lot of Vitas out there.
It was a stupid number.
I thought there were like 6 Vitas in the country.
That's how it felt like. Anyway, Felix, do you have any other gaming news before we hit the Xbox One?
Random techie news. Google have asked Microsoft to remove the Homebrew YouTube app from the Windows Store immediately and to delete the app from Windows Phone users who've already downloaded it.
The Homebrew app?
Yeah,
is this what
essentially
somebody else
Microsoft built their own YouTube app for the Windows Phone because Google refused to permit Windows Phone users to connect to YouTube for whatever reason.
Okay.
Because Google refused to allow Microsoft's Windows Phone to access YouTube metadata in the same way that Android phones do, Microsoft created their own YouTube app.
Yeah.
And the problem with that, according to Google, are that it lets people download YouTube videos, prevents all ads from being shown, and it also allows people to play videos regardless of privacy settings for the individual channel or user.
Okay, I can understand the last one being a bit dickish, but the first two, they're the shit that a lot of people complain about Google.
Yeah.
And
they've also said that Microsoft have violated the YouTube Terms of Service and that they've used YouTube's logo in a way that contravenes branding guidelines.
So they've somehow...
Well, they have to fight that one, otherwise they lose the right to defend them. So
yeah, that's a bit weird, seeing as that looks like a YouTube logo to me.
Well, that's the point. It's not an official YouTube product, therefore they shouldn't be using the YouTube logo.
Right, yeah.
And if Google don't fight this, they then lose the right to fight against other people who use the YouTube logo incorrectly.
To be honest, I would just turn around and say, fucking build us an app then, you wankers. We don't have to.
Microsoft had to piss Google off in the first place. They wouldn't have this trouble.
The current rumor going around as to why Google have, told Windows to fuck off if they want a YouTube app.
Because they want to take over the world?
It's because apparently because of the patent licensing agreements that Microsoft have with Samsung, LG, Acer, and a few others.
Yep.
Microsoft themselves make $5 for every Android device sold.
Yes.
Fair enough.
And they've already fought off a patent.
Yeah, it's been going
case
on
that actually was. I think it was Ericsson.
And that Microsoft already hit Google pretty hard on a privacy, Android privacy spat that happened earlier on in the year.
Yeah, shit happens, unfortunately. Square Enix is apparently to offer live E3 broadcasts. I'm not entirely sure why. They're offering. I'm not entirely sure. They're offering a series of broadcasts live from E3 in June. Diverse and user-friendly range of programming. They state offering coverage of all key titles in its 2013 lineup. So yes, it must be their stuff. And this is across its YouTube channel, Facebook, and Twitter accounts.
Cool.
Marketing director Akio Ofuji said Square Enix will be showcasing a terrific lineup. Must not read words too quickly. Terrific lineup of games for this E3 Expo. Square Enix Presents is a new way we can engage on a more meaningful and personal level with our community and fans. What is this with the Japanese game companies now? We'll deliver it personally to you now.
Got a question.
Yes.
Did he just say, so if you're quoting, E3 Expo?
E3 Expo, yes, that's how it's written on here.
I thought that the last E in E3 was Expo.
Expo. Redundancy. Now, the Japanese publisher
what's your PIN number for the ATM machine, right?
Japanese publisher said in February that it's developing a new Final Fantasy game for PS4. No shit. Using the next-gen Luminous engine that you talked about and showed already previously.
Yep. Many moons ago.
Yeah, many moons ago. It plans to show off the title at E3. Hopefully not the same goddamn trailer.
Hey. Can we have Versus 13, please?
I'll get to that. It's on the list. In March...
And Kingdom Hearts 3?
An unconfirmed report claimed Final Fantasy Versus 13 has been renamed Final Fantasy 15 and will release as a PS4 exclusive with Sony acting as co-developer. What?
I'm confused now. How is this getting me Kingdom Hearts?
Oh, it's not. Earlier this month, Square Enix posted a highly disappointing but not unexpected loss of $88 million for the fiscal year ending March 31st. So they're to be honest, they're desperately looking for money, and they've hitched their wagon to, it looks like, Sony and the PS4. In an effort to get as much money as possible. More news before I hand over to Felix again.
Some more.
Yep, Mirror's Edge 2 listing appears on Amazon. This is a German arm of the retailer. Let's slip weeks ahead of E3. So if you're a fan of Mirror's Edge,
like Nerdcubed is,
it looks like that may be coming back, possibly in November. No. A former EA Easy general manager Ben Cousins seemingly confirmed the development of Mirror's Edge 2 in November 2012 before everyone started bitching about it. So it's possible that we could see Mirror's Edge 2.
Please make it a PC exclusive. It was terrible on the consoles, but amazing on the PC.
It was a little bit of an arse ache.
It's a game that's definitely not made for a joypad.
Yeah.
You need keyboard and mouse for that game.
Yeah, like Dark Souls. Felix.
Speaking of E3, Sony Computer Entertainment Europe's Senior Business Development Manager Shahid Kamal Ahmad.
Say that again.
Shahid Kamal Ahmad.
Shahid Kamal Ahmad.
Indeed. Or maybe Ahmad, I'm not sure.
Kamal Ahmad.
Has said that they're going to be that PlayStation Vita is going to have a surprisingly large presence at next month's E3.
Large. Yeah, what they mean by that is they're going to put a big picture up of it and go, remember this? We don't.
Hey, look, this is the system we've not advertised.
Hey, look, we found you a new controller for your PS3 and 4.
That has been the worry for quite a few people, that the ultimate fate of the Vita is going to be, look, it's a controller for the PS4.
What, isn't it already?
But Sony, lately, in the last month or so, have been realising that they suck at marketing and they should do something about that.
Oh,
so they've actually been teasing and promising things.
Yeah, like a PS4.
Like a PS4, which they've not shown us.
Hey, look at these bits of a PS4, baby. We don't know how they go together yet. We're going to
reveal the case. Look, in a blurry trailer. Look, we don't care. It's going to be a brick. Fucking show us. It doesn't matter. Anyway.
At least it won't look like a VHS recorder.
VHS recorders don't look like VHS recorders.
Quite a few insiders at quite a few of the slightly more reputable gaming websites like Game Informer's executive editor
and
Andrew Wayne.
Kotaku.
Wow,
I said the reputable ones. Have also sort of said that they know of some of the things that are coming up and that people really should be excited.
This and the 3DS has kind of been making a massive turnaround, but this does need to be brought up in E3 because if they're pulling shit for the indie, this is where they need to put it. This is really where they need to put it because
pretty much.
I can see so many indies on
I've
PS3.
said that Seboid Games have been teasing the possibility of porting over a upgraded graphical version of Cthulhu Saves the World and Breath of Death to the Vita. They had a poll on the website and Twitter fairly recently.
It needs to be because I've played Thomas Was Alone and I'm nearly at the end.
That's coming out on the Vita as well.
Yeah, it is on the Vita, but I'm nearly at the end.
I could bring up the store and actually bring up so many indie games right now.
But that's the thing, it needs to be more of an indie device because if they go, hey, we've got all these indies, there'll be lots of people going, hey, let's look at them. Oh, crap, they're shit on
Terraria is definitely coming out this summer.
Terraria.
Yep. Notch just said that he wants to make something once the exclusivity agreement with Microsoft runs down.
Yeah.
So we could have a Minecraft for it.
There could possibly be Minecraft.
Minecraft plus whatever else he's doing because he's still developing.
There's Scrolls and that racing game that's
coming. Yeah. PS4 news. Apparently, it's coming 2013. Says Sony Europe ad. So we are getting it this year. Apparently.
They said at the conference it was coming November 2013.
Remember? Yeah, they said that for America. And then they kind of went, not Europe. And then we all went, what?
Well, they went, yeah, it's coming out in America. The rest of you, we don't know. But America, yeah, definitely America.
Yeah, that's what it's like. It's going to come out for America. What about Europe and Japan? It's coming out for America.
Pass.
America.
Look, a butterfly.
Wish executives would just fuck off. Fucking executives. We'll get to the executives because we're getting through all the non-Xbox news. Oh, right. Felix, any other non-Xbox news?
No, that's about.
Okay, so the Xbox news.
No, could skip through.
Tuesday, the Xbox One was revealed. That's right. They have called this the Xbox One because they want you to call the Xbox the One. Because they too have been watching a lot of Highlander. Honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Jet Li is the one.
No one really refers to OG Xbox or PS1 that much enough for it to matter. So we now have the Xbox One or the XBO, as it will undoubtedly get abbreviated to.
If Jet Li does buy one, will it then have to be called Jet Li is the One?
Maybe. So I just don't like it being called the One because when we
it's following along the same lines.
I know, but when we talk about the
Wii's
PlayStation,
thing.
We don't say PlayStation, we say PS1 or PS2, PS3, PS4.
Well, we do now, yeah.
We always have that. As soon as the PS2 came out, the PlayStation became PS1.
Yeah.
I mean, they even rebranded it PS1.
Yes.
And just to drag this point home, this was the first one.
Yeah.
And made it stupidly tiny and weird. And I still like the old Grey Station best.
Oh, God, yeah.
I liked that. It wasn't beautiful too much, but it was functional and I liked it.
But that's because they made a commitment to the iteration. Sony made a commitment to the iteration despite denying backwards compatibility of software and hardware on their devices. They made a commitment to iterating a device.
Huh?
Sony made a commitment to iterating the device 1 to 2 to 3 and now to 4.
Yeah.
So that was their
plan,
methodology in calling it PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4.
And each one's got a 10-year life cycle.
Yeah. Whereas Xbox immediately went out with Xbox and then just went 360, and people just got into the habit of going 360 rather than referring to it as an Xbox.
Well, rumour has it that they called it the 360 is because the PS3 was coming and they wanted to have a number that was bigger than 3 because the mentality of stupid people, i.e. most of the casual gaming players,
mass market,
were like, 360 is bigger than 3, it must be better.
Well, maybe not.
Well, it seemed to work in North America, didn't it?
Well, it generally did, but the the Xbox One...
See, this is the confusion. This is why it's a stupid name.
Well, the trouble is,
stupid names seem to sell well. I mean, look at the Wii. You couldn't get a stupider name than the Wii, and that sold shit tons.
Yeah, but then the Wii was exclusively marketed at one brand that neither of the two companies had one market that neither of the two companies had targeted.
Soccer moms.
So that's one of the reasons why they did well. But the Xbox One, or XBO, has now come out, and we've seen the hardware. We've seen the new Xbox One main unit, we've seen the Kinect 2, and we've seen the controller, which doesn't have that fucking annoying battery pack right where your fingers need to go.
The question is, though, is the battery pack still removable?
I think it is, from the look of it. Yes, because
these are the only concrete things they have bothered to talk about when addressing the rumours.
It's like, haven't they actually got a proper battery built in yet, or are they still relying on double A's?
I think they do have batteries built in, but I'm not entirely sure. That I didn't follow, because there was so much... Let's theorise and discuss with executives from journalists that I got really annoyed.
This was the whole thing that really pissed me off about the entire so-called reveal.
They let executives open their
they didn't reveal
mouths.
fuck all. All they revealed was, it looks like this. That's it. Oh, and by the way, you can watch telly on your telly now.
So wait, we're now talking impressions and not specific bits, right?
Why not?
This is the trouble. This is what my annoyance was with a lot of the news press that was there, because you'll say something, realising that there'll be clarification, and you're talking to some idiot who's got executive in his title, so you can't believe anything that comes out of their mouth. And then you spout it off as fact by adding a sentence at the end of what they've said. Including...
Actually, a lot of this was also because executives and people from the console division of Microsoft,
the people who do know,
were also being vague and contradictory, and a lot of the news websites had to try to make sense of all these
they didn't make sense. They just then started talking continuously. There has been a lot of
then
clarifications.
Microsoft themselves got pissy about everybody doing this, and everybody sat there going, wait, you had months to prepare your reveal.
You delayed your reveal by a month.
All of these rumours and shit, and you didn't address a single one of them, even in brief, and then you're bitching about people flying on the rumours and trying to make sense of that.
The thing,
when you've got people like Phil Harrison, who gets interviewed by 5 or 6 different sites,
and then
says 5 and 6 different things, and then wonders why everyone is going, well, what the fuck is it? We're confused. Yeah. Everyone's now saying different things because you've told us all different things, you twat, to the point where they're dragging the websites and whatever back into interviews,
essentially,
to re-clarify. And then, for Microsoft, someone higher up, to say, ignore everything he said, our official line is, we're not saying anything.
Yeah, the executives should not have been allowed to say anything because they were talking at cross purposes based on where they were down the still ongoing, undoubtedly, sort-outs with providers.
But this was hours after the thing, not days or weeks. This was like minutes.
But this is the thing. A lot of these executives were undoubtedly stating where they were in part of the process, which doesn't help us. The statement...
It's not ours, all the news websites' jobs to make sure that Microsoft workers say what they know instead of what is crossing their minds at that time.
It's the handlers of the executives to go, you're talking to a reporter. That's their job. None of them were present, apparently. It's like the handlers for Peter Molyneux, clearly.
He doesn't have handlers.
That's
he has
the point.
Doctors.
Yeah, Peter Molyneux does have handlers. All they do is sit in a room and look horrified when he opens his mouth. They don't... Look at other fucking bloody companies. It's a case of if an executive's being interviewed, the handler comes up and goes, he'll be doing conversations later on next week. Bye-bye.
After the methadone's worn off.
Yeah, it's like they take them away very quickly.
That's my problem because, again, for months and months leading up to the reveal, Xbox couldn't possibly have been completely ignorant of all the rumours about things that
there's been a lot of conversations, and they
failed to address most of them in any concrete way.
Make statements towards a lot of stuff. They did mention things that the Xbox One also did as the PS4. Because let's avoid the add-on shit that a lot of other media outlets do.
Okay, let's just talk about purely what was in the conference.
Let's talk about what was there, what was said, not whatever any executives talk. So they've revealed
I remember that it runs on magic and technology. They were very careful to stress that.
Should I just gag you, Felis? Trying to get round the adding hyperbole. Right. They have said that it will run with Blu-ray discs. They've given us the specs. It is not as powerful in terms of accessing memory as fast as the PS4. We know that from the DDR3
versus DDR5.
Yeah. But then, to be honest, that also could be part of the fact it's going to cost a shit ton. You know, this is money we're talking about. They have also said that internet functionality will be something that the console will use because they've mentioned
cloud-based saves,
which PS4 has mentioned. They have mentioned streaming.
Can I just stop you for a second there? Because you mentioned the cloud-based saves.
Yes.
Now, the PS4 has cloud-based saving if you're a PlayStation Plus member, and what it does is it takes the copy that's on your local machine, and upload it to the cloud.
Yes, that's current.
Yeah, that's what the PS3 is doing.
Yeah.
Now, when they say cloud-based saving, that infers that there will be no local copy.
We don't know. We don't know exactly. We don't
Which is my concern, because if there's no local copy and you're not on the line,
then you can't.
There are no saves for you to pick up.
But then this is the thing, we don't know, because we don't know what the Xbox Live is going to be yet either.
No.
That's the thing.
Although I can imagine it would probably be more of the same as it is at the moment, because that seems to be a working model for them.
It works, but then so does PSN to a point. And this was a conversation I heard. It's like, who's going to give the other way? Because it can't be that there's this free thing that gives stuff behind the pay gate to a point, but falls over every now and again, or this thing that you pay for to get access to stuff that this other thing does. One has to go one way or the other. I can't see them both being so diverse when they're looking to compete.
Well, Microsoft has said that they're not trying to compete with the PlayStation this year. They're trying to compete with the Sony, the Google and Apple devices to be the all-in-one living room entertainment hub.
Which, to be honest, is probably the main thing that they are going to be worried about, because everyone's begging for an Apple TV, especially in America, because cable boxes interfaces are shit.
In America.
In America. I mean, if you've seen the Freeview menu, think that for a cable box, and you've got to navigate your phone. Only worse.
Well, that's kind of like what the one looks like. If you saw the electronic program guide they had up, it just looks like any old regular one, except now you can control it with your voice.
Well, I don't think it's easy to explain, because apparently their net boxes, their cable boxes are not the easiest things to navigate their way through. If it's something that can obviously be pitched to people who are having to put up with Comcast interface and shit like that, and is better and it works, people will undoubtedly use it, because it's like, I want to use Comcast, but fuck their operating system. Sounds familiar. Don't know where from.
Yeah.
But
they still need to get the box anyway.
Yes.
In order to receive the service.
But then that's the other thing. It's like, how many people in America have cable?
And if this TV on your TV thing is behind a gold account, you're paying Microsoft and Comcast, for example, for the facility to watch TV.
Yeah.
Which does seem like an extra monetary step that is entirely unnecessary.
But again, we don't know, because there has been the issue with the BBC not being allowed to put their services behind a pay gate.
That's why it took so long for iPlayer to get to the 360.
Yeah, there has also been the fact that Netflix is now free on everything up to your toaster. So it's a
I want Netflix on my toaster now.
Yeah, the question is, what services, because that's part of the thing that people like us will be looking at now.
Well, especially in the UK, because what service would be available to us? Having stuff in lovely North America is fine, and will probably help yourselves in North America, but being Brits, we don't give a shit that you can get your fantasy football leagues up on your screen, because we don't have that.
Speaking of segue, Sky is set to explore opportunities on Xbox One.
Well, that's understandable. They've got an agreement with the Microsoft 360.
Yep. So it looks like they're going to be allowing Xbox One users, XBO users, to navigate through the Xbox for Sky stuff. And
logical.
Just in looking at the picture they've got for the Sky player, it's a lot better than the fucking Sky menu. Oh god, the Sky menu. I hate that shit. And also it is yet another fucking remote control from space.
Yeah.
I understand your argument, because you don't watch TV and things like that in the inputs, but if you have Sky, if you have TV remote, he says holding something up for the listeners of radio.
Yeah, that helps you, Burke.
If you have things along with the controller, it's really
okay.
is.
We have closed captions.
Yeah, it really is. And
you
he holds
accepted
up
that for a whole 2 seconds before you suddenly went, wait a
second.
Caption.
That only works on the television.
But the main problem is don't watch us in YouTube comment thing. Don't watch us.
I wonder what the auto transcribe will say for closed captions if I say it.
A brief aside: watch TigerTails gaming plays with the captions on.
Why?
It's hilarious. You thought the sheep song was bad.
I loved the shearing song.
Oh, God. But yes, going back to it, having to navigate between 3 to 4 different fucking remotes is a pain. It really is. And all I have is remote for the TV, my controllers for my consoles.
Most of the cable box remotes you get, you can usually really easily set them up to your TV.
Yeah, and normally...
Really easily.
And normally most of these things are controlled through HDMI anyway, so you turn on your other box and it automatically changes the channel for you.
But it is also through an interface that is shit. Sky is not the best interface for us. If ever you've got Sky, going through that interface is not brilliant.
Well, no, I'll never have Sky because it involves giving money to Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah, well, it involves giving away money, TK. Let's get the sentence straight. It involves you having money.
The BT Vision interface isn't that bad.
No.
A little bit vague sometimes, but really not that bad.
But to be honest, having something that makes it easier for you to use it suddenly takes away a barrier of entry, because if you are just going in going Xbox on Sky and it goes bang.
Yeah, but then Sky what?
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Sky
It's
1, Sky 2.
or Sky menu. Sky 1.
It's got to
suddenly
learn all these things,
yeah.
plus it's got to be able to translate the Scottish, which is it's something it's never been able to do.
We're not being anti-Scottish at all.
No, these are actually documented facts.
Yeah.
They Connect really struggles with Scottish.
It's okay, I've got some Scottish heritage.
But
I'm
then
fine with this.
that's the other thing. The Xbox, the Kinect 2 has everything inside it and all its own separate memory and hardware stuff this time around. So it's got the processing power and the learning ability to deal with that. And undoubtedly, they're going to think of that because in America, you have Texas. So you're going to need to... You've also got, leading up to Canada, you've got a lot of stuff that they're going to have to work around. So this is something... Because we're now leading into the Snap 2 and the control features via the voice commands, which is the mass market thing. It's the whole idea of being able to access everything through the Xbox, making it easy to access, and more importantly, for you to then be able to go, I'm a bit bored of this game, but I'll come back to it later. Let's see what's on TV. TV. Imagine the ease of it's like TV, BBC One, ITV.
Then imagine people having a conversation while you're playing a game going, hey, so what's on TV tonight? Like, oh, you motherfucker.
The trolling now does indeed happen, but this also leads on to another thing.
Which is great.
No, think about it. Watches and monitors who comes in and out of the room.
Yeah, think about this carefully. You're playing online. Everyone's got their volumes up and stuff because you're having fun. And then somebody's losing, they shout Xbox off, and every user's console dies.
Yeah, to be honest, that level of trolling, I think even Microsoft would probably recognise.
I hope so.
Because
that would be brilliant.
That would be the first thing I would do in testing. It's like, are we all on? Brilliant, right? Xbox off. Boom.
I mean, Hedgie could be playing in the Xbox, and I could be in my room and just yell through the room, Xbox off!
Specifically,
and his game goes bye-bye.
Two features are the ones that are being run by the Windows 8 kernel they've got.
Yes.
It's one of their three fucking operating systems.
It's not operating, layers.
They've got three operating systems on the go.
They've actually said that we have three in the conference. They said we got three operating systems. We got the Windows kernel, the Xbox Blades thing, and another operating system that interfaces between the two.
Yeah.
Which is why it takes up about 3 gigabytes of your 8 gigabytes memory.
But
holy shit, really?
Apparently, yes.
But with that also, well, to be honest, it's an operating system, so...
Even so, I mean, Windows 7 doesn't take up that much of a PC.
But then we've also got
three
extra
Windows
stuff.
7s.
We've also got the extra processing power and everything that's been taken away from what's going on because other stuff has got individual hardware stuff rather than the current one, which is if you plug something in, everything's now having to work on the peripherals and things like that. But the Snap 2 is being able to bring up apps via your TV and game. So potentially you can bring up the frequently asked questions stuff without having to root around for your phone, in my case, or other thing. Yes, TK made a valid point about normally people have stuff out anyway using the smart glass, but then that's what they want you to do as well. They want you to utilize.
Well, this is what I couldn't
glass.
understand. I mean, I said this when I did the post for the TigerTails gaming site, is that last year they were pushing smart glass. This is the greatest thing. It's going to have all this connectability and stuff, and you'll be able to just look at your phone for the information you want.
And it's true, it is on there, and it means
this year,
keyboard.
They want to throw all that away and now reduce your screen size when you're watching stuff so you can read about it on your screen as opposed to on the phone.
It hasn't thrown it away, though. They've just added an extra thing on the screen.
PS3 and Vita can do something kind of similar currently, where you can't bring up a web browser whilst you're playing a game, but the most recent updates, you can still watch YouTube videos whilst the game is running.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I've not tried.
But then this is the thing. I mean, you are now talking about having something that can actually show on a big screen, because we are talking about mainstream, which will have big HD screens, which will have all this other stuff in and about. You'll have your smart glass, but it's a case of, right, I want to speak to someone who's online because friend has popped up on whatever, and I'm playing a game. Skype the fucker on whatever device they have, be it phone, PC, whatever, and say,
because there's nothing I want to do more when I'm watching television than talk to people and miss the program I'm watching.
Well,
that's logical.
That's down to you whether or not you take the call or not. But then
doing it during gameplay, maybe. But they showed no indication that you could do that during gameplay.
Well,
they showed you that you could do that while watching videos or movies or whatever and TV, which is the one time I do not want to listen to somebody else babbling around.
That's the thing that there's more than likely going to be also talked about during the E3 conference, because the idea of being able to go, I'm in this game, I see people on, I'll double check to see if they want to play. Communication, that's another thing that is mainstream. So the idea of having apps that could run whilst you're playing games, whilst you're watching TV, that have access to the internet and not drawing power from anything else is a feature that they're pushing forward, because it also means you could like go to the Pizza Hut app and order your pizza before you even get the game started. You know, it's some ridiculous shit there. But that's the Snap 2 stuff. They have then mentioned, obviously, the fact that it's going to be requiring the internet. And it will be always there.
They didn't say how it required the internet. I noticed they very deliberately did not mention how much connectivity that was required.
Sounds like they're still going back and forth in the boardrooms as to how often it needs to check in. But it will need to check in.
The check-in thing I can understand, and we've gone through this with Steam, and let's be fair, everyone bitched about it then, but to be honest, Steam was one of those services which was introducing an idea of having your own games, everything else like that, and they were going, no, you're going to make sure you're fucking authorizing our games and we're checking every time because we don't trust you.
But at least now they've mellowed out and gone, right, you need to be online whilst you register a game. After that, you can play offline whenever the fuck you want.
Yes.
Yeah, but you've got to set Steam to offline mode, which you have to do online.
Although there is...
when my internet cut out, I was last in online mode, and if it can't detect an internet connection, it will automatically go, hey, we can't find your internet. Would you like to start an offline mode?
Although, interestingly, Steam will keep doing checks. You don't require them, but they will keep doing checks.
I was
because
offline
the number of
for over a
times...
week and it's still fine.
Oh, yeah, but they will. When you're online, it will keep doing checks to see if everything you've got is legit. So whilst it doesn't require it,
your settings and saves at the same time when you exit a game as well.
Yeah, because Steam is like that. But
I haven't noticed it checking anything whilst I've been playing a game. It's only when I've finished playing or...
When you boot up, there's usually update and synchronizing, and it's like all this lovely little stuff.
I must admit, that scared the bejesus out of me when I was playing Steam on another machine, and all my saves were still there. I was like, what? When did it cloud save? How did it? When?
You can turn cloud save off if you really want to.
Yes, which is sometimes kind of handy. But yes, they've got
I could see the save files on my hard drive. It was doing it right.
Oh yes, it does sync it.
It makes a copy of your saves, basically.
Yeah, it's like
it's offline.
This is how you're supposed to do it.
Off computer and then onto computer. But anyway,
again, they've learned from backlash that they'd had already.
Yeah. But anyway, so they've announced the internet. It is required, and I can understand why it's required, because you've got functions that will require the internet.
Yeah, cloud saving.
Cloud saving, the live, the Snap 2 stuff. So, understandably, it's integral in the machine. It's like saying, for a PC, the PC does for a PC with like a modem thing, then that you want to gain access. It's integral to having a PC with internet access. The 24-hour thing, we're not entirely sure. They have also talked about the pre-owned and what they're focusing.
They didn't talk about the pre-owned.
After the thing.
Yeah, we're not talking about after. We're just talking about during the conference. Yeah, that was a rule you stipulated.
Okay. Let's see. It won't be backwards compatible, but then, to be honest, we kind of figured that.
I would have thought it would be too hard to go from the 360 to the one, because they were both basically PCs and boxes. But apparently it was a different kind of PC architecture in the 360.
Yeah, and well, frankly, I can't see much point, because I'm not going to trade in my 360 for like an age.
But again, they didn't talk about that during the conference either. They talked about that afterwards.
Let's see. The next-gen Kinect sensor has been confirmed. It will have its own memory and hardware, so that way it will run off of that.
And it has its own input as well, which means it can transfer 3 gigabytes per second of data.
Which is quite scary.
Or gigabits, sorry. Not gigabytes, gigabits. There is a difference.
Quite scary for
USB
camera.
3 can do 5, so that's nearly as fast as USB 3, which is quite impressive.
We had a couple of things shown for the game. So we had the Forza 5 trailer, which looks comparable with GT. The current, look, photorealistic.
Ish.
We've got Quantum Break. Well, so was a lot of the other stuff. It's like photorealistic. Oh, here. Quantum Break.
Saying that for years.
Yeah, Quantum Break, which I don't understand at all, but looks pretty.
No, it doesn't.
Was that the one that had absolutely no details whatsoever?
Yeah,
that was the game.
It was completely forgettable.
The game they showed a live-action trailer for. You can't say it looks pretty.
Oh no, half it was live action. Oh yeah, that was it. It's a radical entertainment game which features slow-mo.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk?
I know, right? They showed like a nanosecond of actual game footage at the very end.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was just live-action bullshit.
They then also showed all of the EA partnership with their main core demographic, obviously the Xbox, which was FIFA and Madden.
When they showed off the Ignite engine, remember EA's track record with showing off engine gameplay at a new event?
Well,
what the end game will be like.
Let's put it this way. FIFA has had a shit ton of very good engines, and it has been selling better year on year.
And although looking at some of the models in the NBA trailer bit,
NBA that got cancelled for a reason, and they're having to catch up. But
no, I mean the most recent, the one
that got cancelled for a reason. They're now catching up. So
in all fairness, though, FIFA has been doing well for a reason. They've this is one of the yearly franchises that actually improves upon itself year in, year out.
Yeah,
and is one of the few kind of yearly titles I would actually say, yes, it is worth buying the upgrade, because they change so much. It isn't just exactly the same engine year in, year out, like for most of the gun games with minor modifications.
Yes.
They actually do serious work in improving it. And so FIFA is one of the few franchises that I can say justifies its regular and high price tag.
Yeah.
Which is annoying. But all the things they showed off, aside from a couple of the, oh, look, you can do this kind of fantasy football stuff, whatever it was, exclusive on the 360, all the core engine stuff and everything they showed off is multi-format. It'll be on that'll be the technology on every format it comes out on.
Well, that'll be the software, isn't it?
Yeah, there was absolutely nothing special that they showed off that would make me go, oh my god, I must get a 360 for this game. A 1 for this game, because it's not going to be on any of the other machines.
I think it's more what they were pitching, because EA has put a big pitch behind the Xbox with the sports franchises especially. Activision has also put a big pitch in as well, purely for Call of Duty, especially seeing as Battlefield is the EA shooter, which inevitably goes to PS whatever. So they've done, as people mentioned in channel, Call of Duty Dogs. This is Call of Duty Ghosts. The engine is actually updated. It's no longer the same piece of shit we've seen year on year.
The story will be the same piece of shit we've seen year on year.
The story is irrelevant. The dogs are irrelevant.
It's, the main EA thing doing the story, whereas
Activision? EA does story badly.
Yeah, whereas it's Treyarch that do the Black Ops, which usually have a marginally better narrative going for it.
But Activision is all like, oh look, explosions and guns and shit, which basically is what the quintessential Microsoft owner actually wants.
Yeah,
they want to watch sports and they want to shoot stuff. If it could bring them beer, then it would be the Wonder Console.
Yeah, but that was Call of Duty. Granted, there was not a huge number of games.
But again,
it was literally 20 minutes of the hour were set aside for the games.
Yeah, but then that's also understandable because they're literally looking at 3 weeks. We are now at nearly 2 weeks.
That's what people are hoping for, that they will actually talk about games at E3.
Well, this is the thing. The reveals for the consoles, they're gone. The hardware, we know about. Some of the stuff we know about.
The reveals for the reveal for the one is gone. The PlayStation 4 console reveal is still yet to happen.
Yeah, they're going to go look at our shiny
console. We've had the joypad reveal.
Yeah. But then this is the thing. I think PlayStation is doing it because they're trying to make sure that they've got stuff behind it. And I think Microsoft is doing this in this way as well, because we still don't really know prices. We still don't really know services.
And like I said, half the things that people doing rumours about were the things that Microsoft refused to address properly.
So far Zavi have released, they kind of accidentally released a kind of guest price tag of £400 for the one.
Which I've seen.
Which was the price the PS3 came out, and everyone kicked up a shitstorm.
Yeah, but then let's be honest. We're now looking at PC equivalent hardware. This is why I'm having problems, because I've not been shown from either console anything to justify me putting that allocated money to anything other than a PC.
But remember, that point, in those times, the PS3 was PC equivalent for that time period. The 360 was PC equivalent for that time period.
Yeah.
Consoles and PCs are still kind of being reasonably equivalent. It's just the consoles generally tend to be slightly less than $1,000.
Yeah. Well, unless you're talking to the chief technology officer of EA.
Oh yeah,
we ignore
Rajat Taneja.
Oh, some other idiot
who's basically said, the architectures of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are generations ahead of the highest-end PC on the market.
The guy was on shit. But
architecture, maybe. It's just getting everything out to the end user. Probably less so.
Yeah. But in terms of the actual broadcast stuff, that was the information that they pumped out pretty much over the broadcast.
So, as we can confirm, there was no information apart from it looks like this.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The biggest problem, as mentioned, is the executives were then allowed to speak afterwards.
Well, second biggest problem.
What was the first then?
The first one was them not coming out and actually saying some of these things in the first place. And then the things that they weren't so vague on were things that inflamed the
things they weren't so vague on were often the things that they then said something different to somebody else in a different format.
Yeah.
It's like,
and the problem
I'm
is,
talking bullshit. Listen to me.
A very vocal minority of the people who were the most pissed off. But what Microsoft really need to realize there is that these people are the people who will be pre-ordering your console.
Well, the thing is, your
initial install base.
This is the other thing to point out. A lot of the bullshit that's coming up from the vocal minority, hardcore gamer. Right, let's point out, first off, you're undoubtedly probably going to buy this anyway. You're undoubtedly going to buy this for one fucking game and play that to death. Sorry, don't care. The people who care are people who sit there and go, am I willing to invest a large chunk of money for a service and stuff that I provide?
That's what I've seen. Most of the angry people I've seen have been sat there going, seriously, if Microsoft don't say something about this, or at least give us some good news, then I may just not pre-order.
Yeah,
and wait for it to come the fuck down.
I think Microsoft's main problem was with this conference is that it was a conference that wasn't meant for gamers.
The audience was over 60% mainstream media.
Yeah, it was mainstream. That's the thing. Mainstream.
Hang on. Most of the people who watched it live, over the live streams and everything, were gamers. But this wasn't a conference for gamers. This was a conference for Mr. America. Mr. I'm going to sit in my trailer, whatever, with my beer and my NASCAR and my 360 with FIFA or Call of Duty.
Typecasting at all.
No, that's pretty much what the conference was for. It was for mainstream America male.
Their main market demographic. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, and that's who they were trying to sell to. Which pissed off a lot of the gamers because, being gamers, we wanted a gaming console, not an all-in-one wonder console.
Yeah, but then this is the other thing. It's like, what's the percentage of gamers, as in people who spend the shit ton of money compared to the person who spends money on one thing constantly? That we don't know. We don't know what percentage of gamers, as in us, exist.
But then the reason... not the reason. Our conference is coming up at E3. That's the thing. Most of this argument is like, oh god, no, all these features were shit and blah blah blah. Don't care, don't want. Yeah, wait until E3 because that's the conference they're going to be gearing up for us.
Yeah,
that's the conference they're going to be showing off the games. They've promised us 15 exclusive titles, 8 of which are new franchises.
Yep.
So wait and see until E3.
Another thing that has been confirmed.
They might blow us out the water.
Where is it?
On your screen somewhere.
Yeah, it is on the screen somewhere.
Microsoft's unhappy with reports from people. No shit.
I mean...
one thing that has been confirmed is that indie game publishers, indie developers aren't allowed to self-publish on the Xbox One.
Okay.
They've got to partner up or go through a publisher,
remember
which is how they've done it a
with the
while
Xbox Live indie game space, which these days is a very neglected slum for people trying to find a fucking audience.
Oh, really?
Whereas on the other side, basically Microsoft have gone away from the trying to become an indie space.
I see. So obviously that wasn't making enough money.
Sony have embraced the indie space, going, this is the best way to get good content for us.
To put the context on this, Microsoft were getting money from this, but from publishing certain things, because Fez, Minecraft, Terraria. Sony have also partnered up and gotten indie things on there, but often they're the batshit crazy ones. I mean, yes, we've had Journey and we've had that game company's games. We've had Thomas Was Alone. And they don't care if they then go PC. But then we've had things like The Unfinished Swan, which was like, what? And we're getting, the Traveller or other weird-ass things. And it seems to be very much a case of, we're the artsy indie crowd. It's like, but give me the indie games like Monaco. Monaco, which did come out on Xbox.
Some of the, like the one level that everybody remembers of the Unfinished Swan. Apart from that, all the gameplay all the way through that was really solid. They actually nailed that down before they went on to the artsy bits that were put in.
Yeah, well,
but again, PlayStation 4 is confirmed to allow self-publishing.
Yeah,
so
but I don't. But then,
directions.
we've now got different directions. But it makes me wonder if the PlayStation 4 self-publishing for the indies will then turn into Xbox Live Marketplace that we've seen, where it was a case of Avatar Paintball, or the App Store. I mean, this is the big.
There were a couple of RPG-style things that were made with the Xbox avatars that were actually kind of fun.
Yeah, but that was one of the better bits of this. We also don't know what our access will be, and we also don't know how that will be shown on the store because no one's confirmed the PSN. Anyway, after that, we've also had the always-on connection stuff and things like that, as well as the second-hand market and game ties. You are mandatorily required to install a game. There possibly might be potentially a fee to have that game installed on a friend's profile. That has yet to be solidly confirmed or denied. What has been confirmed, though, is Microsoft will allow users to resell and trade games off of their store. So it sounds like either the disc is irrelevant or downloading the titles will be the equivalent of what the Steam store is like.
There was update on the update connection. Apparently, some of the word coming out now is that how often a game connects to the servers or to Microsoft, or if it will at all, will be largely up to the developers.
Yeah,
or publishers.
That they said before the actual thing. They did outline that anything like that would be down to the publisher level anyway. But I can understand why they're talking about fees for having other things, because it's now getting down to licensing of games. And whilst people don't like the idea of being forced to pay for things, yada, 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 I want to be able to share my game,
Although apparently you can have a group gold account now.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that they sort of said, but not, and they're not willing to commit to saying it.
Well, they have a family gold account anyway, so surely it would just be an extension of that.
It's more like if you've got it installed on the thing, then everyone will gain access it. But they have mentioned that there is going to be exemptions for certain things because obviously Armed Forces also use this. So I can imagine that there are details, there are little terms and conditions star details that they aren't willing to pump out now because that is a shit ton of information that would then force people to stop talking about things because they're then going through the little small print. They have also said that their pre-owned plans are consistent with the way the world works at the moment, which, to be honest, I can also understand because Steam's currently doing this and various other things. What else?
I think the thing that people should be most concerned about is Connect.
Oh yeah,
that
you're coming
shit
to Connect.
is terrifying. When
you can't turn off your Xbox fully. It always requires a low power state for the Connect to work, unless you just unplug it.
The Connect is always on and always listening, so it knows when to turn the Xbox on when you go Xbox on. But Microsoft own lots of patents that basically state they can listen in.
There's a patent that they've had for since the Kinect first came out, which is a patent for detecting how many people are in a room and shutting off the console if it exceeds the maximum number of people for, say, viewing a movie.
Well, there was some things that allowed to maybe charge more if there were multiple people in a room
but
watching
again,
a movie.
this is patents, and we've seen the patent war
Microsoft's
before
official line on that was that we buy and make applications for a fuck ton of patients, and most of them patents, and most of them may or may not make it into future hardware or software.
That's the thing. As I said in my little blurb on the website,
blog, your editorial.
Editorial, that's what I was looking for. Thank you. When you do all the snapping stuff with movies and videos and things, it shrinks the picture size down, obviously, but puts all the information at the side, leaving this lovely little black space at the bottom of your screen. Perfect size for adverts. And if the Xbox is always listening and always paying attention to what you're saying, potentially, and the patents have been purchased by Microsoft for this, it could be tuning into your conversation, picking out keywords, and then pushing you advertising based on conversations you're having while the console is not active.
Yeah, but remember what I did when Google started doing that with my emails?
Google have been doing that with your emails for ages, but at least...
Yeah, but I scared it into not working once.
But at least you have the option to turn that shit off. Google have if you pop your Google profile, you can actually check your privacy settings and turn off all the options that follow your web activity. Yeah. So you don't get the pushed adverts, you just get generic adverts pushed at you instead.
I just laugh because none of them are actually anything to do with me. It's like all this shit, and it's like...
Most of my adverts are exceedingly relevant, and I'm going, fuck you, stop tempting me to spend money!
But then that's the point. Advertising is where a lot of they get a lot of their subsidy.
But that's fine. I don't mind having adverts pushed at me. That's fine. I accept that because everything I want is free, and it's got to be paid for somehow, and if I'm forced to look at adverts... so be it. What I don't want is people pushing adverts at me that they've learnt when I'm not using their services. Google, I don't mind because I'm actively engaged in that experience. I use Google as my search engine. They can see my search queries to know what adverts to push at me. They read my email so they know what adverts to push at me. Fine. I'm actively using their service. I consent to this.
Yeah.
When I'm in a room... and there's a Kinect sensor listening to me while the console is effectively turned off for the sake of argument, and then they're pushing adverts based on the conversations we've had, that shit ain't cool.
But again, we don't know about that, and we don't even know if there's a patent. Fine, but we don't even know if it would do that because that would actually have to.
And this is pure speculation forthcoming. But what is to stop a company, maybe an advertising company, maybe a governmental body, saying, "Wait a second, Microsoft, this sensor's always listening. We want to know what people are saying to combat terrorism, for national security and shit."
Actually, some steps have been taken to go back from that recently.
Yeah, hopefully. Well,
you know how the Fox News Republican GOP hardline has been, "Oh, Obama's taken away all of our liberties, rah, rah, rah." And Obama's recently said, "I'm going to be refining and eventually repealing those fucking wartime terrorism acts."
Yeah.
At which point everybody's gone, he wants the terrorists to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
essentially, some of those things...
They can't win. And basically, Orwellian scaremongering, but 1984, it's the Kinect sensor.
But that is...
Your telly box is always listening.
Try the experiment I did when I managed to stop AdSense from working in my Gmail once. Because I noticed that the first AdSense thing for Gmail was, directed ads, was... it looks for keywords in your email.
Yeah.
And so I once signed off an email to a very close friend who understood what was happening. 9/11, 9/11, New World Order, 15 million dead babies, and loads of stuff like that for about a paragraph and a half. No adverts came up afterwards.
Let's go down from the soapbox of insanity. Let's put it this way.
Do that to the one. See how quickly the FBI arrives.
Do you honestly know the amount of processing power it is required to listen through conversations, pull out keywords, and then analyze that to then target adverts to somebody?
These days, not much.
Wrong. Analytics is brought in a lot of companies, and it costs a shit ton. There's a reason.
Is this a good time to mention that Google and NASA have both bought a fuck ton of quantum computers?
Because they have. But that's the thing. Analytics is a fucking shit ton. You're talking about something that sat there quietly in the background.
And how do you think the one works? How do you think it knows to say Xbox on?
It's listening for Xbox on.
Exactly.
That's all it's listening for.
And if it can listen for that, there is nothing to say that advertisers cannot provide a list of keywords to be programmed in via a patch, firmware update, or silent background update to say, listen for these advertising phrases, push adverts when detected.
Yes, which is analytics.
Which is analytics.
But that, like I said, we'll move on. To be honest, that's a shit ton of processing power. I can't see it being done in a console. But anyway, the second-hand market
it's all defeated by pressing power on the main switch on the wall anyway. So
the second-hand business stuff, GameStop apparently had a slump in their own prices after the reveal. Stock prices.
Yeah, so did Microsoft.
Prices shot right up.
Yeah, Sony went 8%, 9%, 9.5%.
However, GameStop has actually committed to Xbox One. Despite the pre-owned concerns, they've also undoubtedly committed to the PS4, despite the fact that that's the same shit
you need
that they're
this
going
pop
to
more than I do.
Yeah.
How am I going to install?
Lastly, don't bother right now, TK.
I can see a way.
Guys, don't bother. Lastly, in a comment, next-gen consoles could top 1 billion sales combined. This is looking at the entertainment capabilities, expanding the new consoles' appeal far beyond the current audience. So it could mean that we could end up with 3 times as large a user base than the current generation.
Next generation consoles could almost sell as much as PlayStation 2 did. Yay!
Well, to be honest, they could potentially have a shit ton, because if they're going mass market and gamer, you could end up broadening across what it was for when the PS3 was launching and for when the Xbox 360 was launching. Because look at the conversations when they were launched and when these ones. When they were launched, if you went into the street and said Xbox, 99% of the people would go, "What is that? Some kind of porn site on the internet?" there wasn't this massive thing.
Oh, you say that, but if you went up to them and said PlayStation, they'd know what you're talking about.
It's still saying 20 minutes remaining.
To a point, I know, Felix. But then this is the thing. I mean, we're going to be looking at a whole different level in terms of services and gaming for the next generation. But the bottom line is, after the PlayStation reveal, after the Xbox reveal, I've still yet to see any reason to spend money on anything other than upgrading my PC. That's my fundamental argument. They're great machines, but for the price, I'm going to be upgrading my PC because Watch Dogs is coming out on PC. I don't really care about Call of Duty. I'm not a sports person. The services would be great from both of them. I like both the services. I would love to have both of them sat there because I could then run the PS4 through the Xbox.
No, you couldn't.
Because HDMI out.
Yeah, HDMI out. Unfortunately, it's copy protected.
Is it?
Yeah, that's why when we're using the PVR, we have to use composite for the PS3 because of the HDMI protections.
Oh, well, never mind.
Which the Xbox can't do.
But never mind.
Doesn't need to do because they're only really there because the movie studio made them put it in.
Yeah, I can understand
it's
that
to stop people pirating Blu-rays by just copying it off the PS3. You know?
Yes, I can understand that. So, but anyway, I would love to have them, but at the moment I can't justify £400. And from what we've rumoured to be looking at, we're looking at £400 for either one of them, depending on the SKU.
I reckon PS4 might be slightly cheaper because I think they might have learned from the PS3 backlash.
Well, they
don't want to repeat it.
They need to, but I think they may still pitch at near £400.
Maybe $350 top, I reckon.
Possibly. It depends on how much of a loss they're willing to take.
Well, basically, whatever they say in dollars, stick a pound sign in front of it instead.
They've been looking at round about nearly $400 as well.
Well, that was the price of the one.
Yeah.
Sony have been not touching prices with a barge pole.
Yeah, the rumour for the Sony stuff is also round about $400 because you're looking at more expensive hardware. It depends on how much of a loss they're willing to take on this, and we just don't know.
I mean, PS3 was a loss leader for ages. I mean, they managed to save $100 per console by taking out the backwards compatibility.
Yeah, which is why we're not even bothering with backwards compatibility anyway.
But then the PS4 is, because although it's not going to be available at launch, the Geico streaming service will be providing the backwards compatibility.
Possibly. They've not confirmed it.
Providing enough internet connection.
And we don't know if it's behind a pay gate.
Sony own it, and yes, of course it'll be behind a pay gate.
They own it, but they've not yet confirmed if they're going to do it, and they've not yet confirmed where it's going to be set. But anyway, that was the announcement. That's a shit ton of news. We're going to have to wait for E3 and our E3 individual podcast. Moving on.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, moving on.
I'm looking forward to that.
Question of the week. Last week, I asked, what one typical cinema food would you eat if you could only eat that food for forever?
Popcorn.
We have, instead of popcorn, nachos. Chili nachos from Salamander 3, who was listening last week.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Stephen Alexander, got to be cheesy nachos. So there's a lot of love for nachos there. TK, however, loves the popcorn.
Yeah, because that's the one that's guaranteed not to give you food poisoning.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's really hard to get food poisoning off cardboard.
or anything else.
So every time I've had like nachos or chili dog or whatever at the place, I've always had the shits. I generally find it's just because, fucking badly undercooked
food.
hot dog and food, yeah. At least you can't fuck up popcorn. Popcorn is just there. It's magic corn, add heat, wait for pop, serve.
Magic corn. Right, this week's question of the week. Which would you prefer?
Oh, I thought I was doing it this week.
Too late.
Yeah, you just want to make a point based off something earlier.
Which would you prefer? Metal Gear on PC or Zoe 3?
Yes.
Which
is the correct answer?
Metal Gear on PC or Zoe 3?
I don't hear the option for Kingdom Hearts 3, so I'm going to assume Zoe means Kingdom Hearts 3 and pick that one.
I'll take that as a yes.
Yeah.
So
again, I just have yes as the correct answer to that.
Zoe means Zone of the Enders.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Whereas GOTA, I still have no idea what that means.
What?
Everyone's going GOTA. Or DOTA, I keep going.
Oh, that's Defense of the Ancients. It's
Dota.
Dota 2.
It's a game. Yeah. It's like League of Legends. You wouldn't like it.
Everyone keeps going day of the something. Day
Yeah.
of the Aardvark, day of the Antelope, day of the...
GOTY?
DOTY, yeah.
GOTY. Give me the year.
Anyway, that was Question of the Week. You can find that on our Facebook page at TigerTails Radio. If you want to find more about us, you can find it on tigertails.co.uk, tigertailsradio.co.uk. We also have a gaming site at tigertails.co.uk/gaming. You can also find our blog site via our main sites. We are also on G+, the TigerTails Radio, as well as for being able to be followed via Twitter.
In fact, I've even put on our TigerTails Gaming Google Plus the drinking game you can have at the Microsoft press conference.
Yeah, you need to be very careful on how you're pitching TigerTails Gaming. So, you don't want to be anti anyone.
Is magic and technology taking a shot or finishing your drink?
No, there's a list of statements on there. And I've said every time they kind of outright deny one of those statements, take a shot of alcoholic drink.
Yeah.
Every time they kind of don't, or maybe confirm a statement, not forgetting that it'll be dressed up as something positive, take a shot of soft drink. And then by the end of the conference, see how drunk you are or aren't.
If you want to see this slightly skewed towards against hating Microsoft thing, find it on tigertails.co.uk.
Who would have thought?
I didn't make it. I found it on Twitter. I just put the game to it.
Anyway, Done and Dusted. This week's Done and Dusted, we have a trailer run through prompt thing. Don't get too far carried away. TK?
Huh?
Q.
Oh, okay, hang on, give me a sec. I'm actually kind of listening to Hedgie blow his nose, which is kind of gross.
Wait, Q or Q2?
No, not Q2.
QE2?
Ah, Q2 was awesome.
Oh, shut up.
He only showed up for the one episode and didn't really have a name.
Shh. It's that time where the cast of TigerTails Radio reviews stuff badly. This is Done and Dusted.
Yeah.
Why, he was one of the best characters on Star Trek Next Generation. You played that whilst I was talking, didn't you?
No. So, Done and Dusted, we have Defiance from myself, Sonic Unleashed on the Wii from Felix, and Santa's Apprentice from TK. Who wants to go first?
Not me, because I want a Wii.
A Wii or a Wii?
Oh, no, it's going to be quite a long Wii.
A long Wii. A long Wii. So, Wii! We try to get the jokes in. So, Felix, Sonic Unleashed, because we've had this mentioned previously by Hedgie, who bought the game.
Indeed.
A long time ago.
Felix says...
But if we want me to talk about
stuff,
then
that mean
you're
Felix
going to
gets
have
a
to
break?
instead, I'm fucking off for a cigarette.
For fuck's sake. So, Defiance.
Seriously?
So, whilst the hosts piss off, literally in one case...
Felix is going to make a smoke, so I'm going to have to put a placeholder picture up for his review, just so you're not watching a studio of Hedgie and Pete picking their noses and scratching their asses.
Of course, I do kind of need a bathroom break myself, and I'm closer than TK
He's
is.
recorded this, hasn't he?
Yes, this is one of Felix's pre-records, which we haven't seen for quite some time.
Kind of classic game reviews, because I usually don't have the money for things that are brand new.
Right, so we're going to be jumping straight into Felix's review of Sonic Unleashed.
Are we?
Once that's back in, we'll then... Yeah, seeing as you want to piss and everything else, so once that's back in, we will then be back in with our own stuff. But I'm going to go in the toilet before TK gets.
Oh, I see. It's like that, is it, you son of a bitch?
Dips, I'm going next.
That's fine. I know where their drinks are. And there's a placeholder. No one can see me do it. Ah, hello, Hedge.
So I can fill in for Pete. Meh, 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 meh.
Pete's in the bathroom, TK.
Has he left his Facebook open?
I mean, yes.
Oh, glorious revenge is glorious.
I'm slightly ill at the moment, as you can tell by my voice. It's a bit rattling,
Hedgie,
which is
just
why I
start
haven't been
typing
talking.
something.
I'm going to quickly make myself
So, yeah.
a coffee.
Hedgie, start typing.
So what?
Start typing in Pete's status.
Oh, right, okay, yes.
Pete's always
let's see.
fraping Felix. This is about time Felix managed to get some revenge. Just type in meh, 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 or something like that. Whatever your devious little heart desires. And then don't forget to return the window to its previous state. And this is live on the internet. You can check Pete's Facebook profile. I don't know if we link to it anywhere, but basically go to our TigerTails Radio Facebook page at facebook.com/TigerTailsRadio. And then look for Pete's talks, mentions of who doesn't... Oh, does he do them all through the web, through the TigerTails Radio name? I can't remember. But basically check the people who follow TigerTails Radio on Facebook, and you'll see Pete pop up. And then you can see Hedgie's freshly made status. What does it say, Hedge? Hedge?
What does it say, Hedge? What does it say, Hedge?
I'm going to have to get my phone and check this out. Damn it.
What does it say?
Hedgie is so uncooperative. Oh, my God.
You suck.
God, he sucks his what's in the Vietnamese Dyson.
I just attacked myself with all of the furniture.
Oh, I don't know. What are you doing over there, Felix? Jeez.
He's dropping things.
Wrecking everything, apparently.
He hasn't done anything. Felix, he's let us down.
Is there nothing going play?
No, not yet. I'm just watching the glorious chaos that's going on in the studio.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Because it does look like glorious chaos. I think Hedgie is.
It's incredible chaos. Incredible chaos!
Is Felix's thing playing?
No!
No.
Like I say, we're still talking about chaos in the studio.
Yes. Other things going on.
Hedgie, did you do anything? Oh, well. Oh, okay. So I guess with that in mind now, because Felix now wants to have a wee and a smoke and
Hooray.
stuff, and I've no idea how long his review lasts for.
10 minutes.
10 bloody minutes?
Second.
Oh, fuck's sake, Felix. Okay,
Better
so...
be good.
Yeah, better be good. So I'm going to mute the microphones. I haven't done this for ages. So on that note, it's time for Felix's review of Sonic Unleashed on the Wii. Take it.
There's an old philosophical riddle in the gaming universe. It's very much like the old. If a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, will my minion pinned underneath get medical attention before he dies? Or something like that anyway. The gaming world's equivalent is, if a Sonic game is released and nobody can be bothered to play it, will it still suck? Yep, the Sega mascot who once stood toe-to-toe with the mighty Nintendo Empire has really fallen on hard times. For most of the last decade, his existence has been trudging from one subpar game to the next in a string of titles that continuously tried to reinvent a franchise that the gamers really had no interest in changing. All the fans ever really wanted was an anthropomorphic hedgehog who could run really fast. Instead, what they got was a caricature with a tude and an out-of-control explosion of useless supporting characters. So, let's flash back to 2008, when Sonic Team were once again trying to fix what was never broken, and speed right through Sonic Unleashed for the Nintendo Wii, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3. So, in this entry to the Sonic series, we open to a great fight in the reaches of space, as Sonic does battle against the mechanized might of his sworn nemesis, Dr. E. No, okay? I refuse to call him by that other name. I never have, I never will, and you should all stop trying to make me. His name is Dr. Ivo motherfucking Robotnik, okay? Okay? Good. I'm glad we got that settled. So, just when Sonic has destroyed his robot army, his latest power suit, and cornered the dastardly rotund roboticist, and then seems set for an early victory, Robotnik manages to capture our hero in an energy vice, then extract from him the power of the Chaos Emeralds, on which he then uses to power some sort of giant freaking laser beam thingy, which blasts it down to the planet, shattering it and releasing the ancient avatar of evil, Dark Gaia. In his moment of victory, Robotnik goes a little Kefka on us, using the power of Dark Gaia to build what looks like the universe's worst amusement park. Because reasons. And then he jettisons Sonic and the apparently drained Chaos Emeralds out of the airlock and down to Earth. The Mobius. Whatever. Okay, hang on a second. Wouldn't the smart thing to do here be to just kill Sonic there and then? I mean, come on, he doesn't even have a single ring left. Why not just use one of those massive guns while he's too weak to move? You know, keep our blue hero in that stasis field thing and send the ship careening into the sun. You know, or at the very least, jettison somewhere other than back home. Ugh. Okay, so, as a side effect of his proximity to the giant phlebotomy beam when it fired. Sonic has now been imbued with a fragment of Dark Gaia's power. Now, whenever night falls, he transforms into Sonic the Werehog. Under the light of the moon, Sonic the Hedgehog becomes the hideous abomination that is half hedgehog and half slightly bigger hedgehog. Oh. Okay. Let's just not think about how stupid that concept is. It'll hurt my brain less that way. So, this new split persona is the main gimmick behind the game. Levels are each split into day and night versions. In the daytime, you'll play as classic Sonic, running at breakneck speed and grabbing rings, and they are an absolute treat to play. Between the multiple parts, brilliant level design, and the sheer velocities you can reach with Sonic, you find yourself barely breathing or blinking, relying on sheer reflex and twitch response to win through. Okay, now, in previous Sonic titles, one of the biggest issues with reaching full speed was your control. It was so hard to run fast without careening off all manner of infuriating cliffs and ledges. Thankfully, that problem's actually been remedied here. Sonic's movements are smooth and flowing compared to older, jerkier titles. And the implementation of the Quick Step means that you can quickly shift position without losing all control of Sonic. All the day stages are time-based. The faster you make it through, the better your shiny rewards are. And to keep them from getting stale, there are several short mini-challenges. And I mean short. Some only last 3 seconds. You'll get various goals like don't break anything in the stage or don't let enemies hit you. And between those goals and the inherently addictive nature of time challenges, you'll end up coming back again and again to get a better score. Sadly, those great high-speed antics only make up half of the game. The other half is made up entirely of incredibly sloppy combat and precision platforming that'll have you sighing with regret each time you leave the day stage behind, and the nighttime stages rear their ugly heads. Now, your nighttime stages feature Sonic in his new Werehog form, and that means he's now slower, stronger, and let's be honest here, a lot less fun. These stages are generic beat-em-up levels. You wade into a clearing, you mindlessly flail on the controller until everything is dead, and then you move on. When you're not fighting, you'll have to use Sonic's super stretchy arms to tackle a series of platform challenges that are so old school in their difficulty, even Earthworm's Jim gave up in disgust. These stages are just downright infuriating. And the fact that Sega stubbornly clung to its life-based system means that if you struggle enough times and lose all your extra lives, then it's all the way back to the very start of the level with you. All of the night levels suffer because they're just plain brainless, boring, and far too long. Even though the game is evenly split between your day and your night levels, those damn Werehog levels easily stretch to 3-4 times as long as a daytime event. And that's an awful lot of time having to spend playing on that awful bloody gimmick. There's also a Devil May Cry / God of War style power-up system, but it's pretty much redundant. You can just mash your one attack over and over to beat pretty much, well, every enemy in the game. Alright, so you can string together some kind of neat combos, but why should you bother dancing around when nothing can stand up to that haymaker punch you get from the very beginning of the game? I think I can safely say that the daytime stages of Sonic Unleashed were masterfully done. Speed, control, and some truly amazing level design make it something that reminds the fans why they love this franchise so much in the first place. And if this had been the only mode of Sonic Unleashed, it it might have been an instant classic. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, in a lot of ways, Unleashed was a huge spin dash forwards for the franchise. And to give it its due here, when you got to play as regular Sonic, it's a huge amount of fun. Each continent you go to has its own themed levels, and the stage design and the music do a great job of setting the mood and the pace. The visuals were pretty good too, which was a nice surprise in the Wii version I was playing. With the classic style controller, of course. It's the major stumbling block is that the whole werehog concept is just... it's just dumb. Really, really dumb. I understand Sega had to do something to lengthen the game, because the daytime stages, even with the replay value, only take up a few hours of actual gameplay. But come on, Sega, there had to be a better way to broaden the experience than that, right? No, it's a step in the right direction at least. Sonic Team might just have been starting to cotton on to the fact that all people wanted was pure, unbridled speed. And at least Sonic Unleashed gives us more of a taste of that than other titles have in the last 10 years. When it's restoring Sonic to its classic roots, Unleashed is an excellent title, and a joy to play. But until there's some sort of a mod put in, so you can shoot a silver bullet right between that fucking werehog's eyes, the rest of the game drags it down to the point where you're probably better off renting Sonic Unleashed than trying to score it in a bargain bin somewhere.
And that was Fetus's review of Sonic Unleashed on the Wii.
Yes. And a couple of things I have to mention.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
First off, background music was provided by the amazing, Dwayne and the amazing Brando on their LP of Devastation CD.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Salamander 3 helped rewrite a couple of the puns.
Oh dear.
Your comedy sucks, Felix. Slap.
No,
TK.
the core pun was changed, just some of the wording.
Okay, TK. Santa's Apprentice, because that was Sonic Unleashed by Felix, because he doesn't like speaking live. This is TK
I was actually
doing
thinking,
Santa's Apprentice.
Felix,
Yes.
instead of doing your reviews here,
Live.
yeah, no, instead of doing your pre-recorded stuff here, what we should do is, if you can, well, it depends what game you play.
Find enough writing time.
No, is just post like the review to me, and then I can try and put some footage to it and stick it on the TigerTails gaming channel instead.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
I can do that.
Yes.
That makes a lot more sense.
Anyway, Santa's Apprentice.
Let's take off the picture first, because that's always a good plan.
Hello.
Indeed.
So, in the studio there, we have a Hedgie in the background, a Xavier, and a Felix. Remember those guys?
Hello.
For the people watching on YouTube? Didn't totally forget.
Since the show started, my Vita hasn't been within 3 feet of me.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, it's been within 3 feet.
Santa's Apprentice.
No,
TK.
most of the time it hasn't. Each time it's moved closer, Pete takes it away.
Aww.
So that he can play on it some more.
It has got closer, though. It's just been taken away again.
Yeah, so Santa's Apprentice, TK.
Santa's
He's
Apprentice.
playing as a big daddy. Why?
Yeah, he should be playing as Parappa. He's playing PlayStation All-Stars Battle thing, which is basically Brawl on Vita. Which,
Apprentice.
it was very good fun. I played a bit earlier.
Mr. Bubbles wants you to get on with it.
Yes, I noticed. Yeah. At the start of the show, you may remember, if you caught it, that I was talking about Toon Boom animation software. And I basically was checking it out because I wanted to see how well it handled traditional animation versus like crappy Flash animation, of which it can do both quite happily. In fact, I was rather impressed at how it does these animation processes very successfully, and was quite awed by it and wanted a copy, but then remembered I couldn't draw, so there'd be absolutely no point in me having a copy. A crying shame. But then I saw some trailers of stuff that had been produced using Toon Boom. In essence, Toon Boom Harmony was the product used. There's many packages, of which Harmony is one, but this was Harmony standalone, which means it can work on its own. And so I checked out the trailers, and most of them were crappy Flash type things, where basically they called it, I think it was like puppet animation or something, but basically you had a couple cut out characters, and then you just animated the limbs and things, basically like what most cartoons are these days that you see on TV. Not brilliant, but then I saw something which looked a lot more like traditional animation, which Toon Boom handles quite happily in a variety of different ways. I thought, okay, I'll check out this trailer. This one looks quite nice. And it was something called Santa's Apprentice. And I quite liked the trailer. I thought, well, this is nice. I quite want to see more of this. So I went away and obtained my legally sourced review copy, and watched it, as you would expect. And basically, it's this little story of a orphan called Nicholas and Santa Claus. And Santa Claus is in a bit of a dilemma because he has to find an apprentice now.
Dilemma?
Yeah, that's what I said, I think. That's what I wanted to say anyway. And he has to find an apprentice now, otherwise the magic of Christmas is lost forever, and Christmas as we know it is doomed.
The magic of Christmas!
I know. Yeah, check out this. We're watching this in the middle of fucking May. Mind you, the weather we've been having recently has been cold enough to be Christmas. And yes, so he has to find someone called Nicholas, who's an orphan, and has a pure heart. And so he ends up finding this little kid, an orphan, in the middle of Australia. In Sydney, no less.
Because, you know, orphans.
Because orphans, and because this was made in Australia. So, yeah, the kind of kid's Australian. So,
Yay, Australians!
Yeah.
We love you, Australians!
And this kid is effectively kidnapped by Santa Claus, the little helpers, and taken away to wherever Santa lives, be it Lapland or the North Pole or wherever one lay claim to it. Basically, Christmasville, for want of a better phrase. And he is taught how to become the next Santa Claus. And it's basically watching his heroic struggle against his fear of heights, his inability to fly a sleigh, and all the other stuff that he's not very good at, which you associate with Christmas, including building presents, which end up catching fire and basically almost burning the place down.
As you do.
Yeah. Now, this was an amusing little thing, because at first it goes the traditional soppy route for 90% of the film. And then you get to the finale, which I will spoil because no one else is going to watch this. He ends up taking gifts to the orphanage. And the police are there waiting for him because Nicholas disappeared without trace.
Ew.
The police were involved because that's what you'd expect. I thought, oh my god, someone's actually done a logical thing here and called the police. Because a kid's gone missing. That's bad.
But it's a kids' movie. Adults are inherently useless.
Exactly. But no, the adults are inherently efficient. And come Christmas Eve, after the rumours that he'd been kidnapped by Santa Claus were circulated due to another kid called Nicholas nearly getting chosen for the job by accident,
yes,
the police are there ready and waiting for Santa. So when Nicholas and Santa Claus show up to deliver the presents, the police are there waiting and pounce.
Yeah, which is quite good.
Yeah. Santa is desperate to convince the police that he is the genuine Santa Claus and not a faker. Unfortunately, his pleas go unheard.
As they would. Yeah.
And he gets arrested.
Did he try calling on the testimony of Mara Wilson?
No.
Ah, that usually works.
Yes, well, not in this case. And yeah, Santa Claus is slung in the clink.
Okay.
Which I thought was brilliant because no one else has ever done that.
No.
No one. I mean, there has been the potential for Santa Claus to get into trouble, but no one's ever actually arrested him and thrown him in jail before.
Yes, they have.
Yeah?
Miracle on 34th Street remake starring Richard Attenborough.
Oh, God, really?
Okay.
Yeah, he does. He gets thrown in jail.
A remake?
Yeah.
A bloody remake?
Yep.
What year was that released?
Not this year.
Was it last year?
No.
Year before?
No, many years ago.
Oh.
That makes that the least subtle Miracle on 34th Street reference made in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, he's slung in the clink and eventually manages to convince everyone that he is indeed the genuine Santa Claus and gets released.
As you do.
Just before a MacGuffin, which contains the spirit of Christmas, is almost destroyed. Luckily, Santa Claus is there to save the day and everyone lives happily ever after. But what really interested me by this little flick is the animation. I was there sitting trying to see all the different animation styles used that the software provides, and breaking it down, it was actually very entertaining for me to do. And kind of, I do the same with music. I listen to all the layers of music and break down each instrument and how it was done and why it was done. And it was quite interesting to do that with the animation because there were some elements that was like obvious blatant 3D animation. There were some elements that were traditional hand-drawn stuff, and it was interesting to see how it all blended and how the techniques were used together and how are they intertwined.
Which is kind of what you want, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah. When I've downloaded this film just because I want to see how this software was used, it was quite nice to be able to sit there and pick it apart piece by piece. But the plot was actually quite pleasant. It didn't offend me in any way, and it wasn't all sappy, horrible Christmas shit like you normally get for these Christmas films.
No, which you get on a lot of these bloody Christmas films.
Yeah, it was nowhere near quite as saccharine and entrenched even as other films of that similar ilk, which made it quite entertaining to watch. And it was an hour and 17 minutes long, and that hour and 17 just seemed to fly by.
Which is actually quite good. Again.
I actually found myself being thoroughly entertained by this film, which I did not expect in the slightest, considering I think it's one of those direct-to-DVD films. So I was quite happy by that. And yeah, I'd actually recommend this little film. It's definitely something to watch at Christmas time. Watching it in the middle of May is a bit disingenuous, but not unentertaining. It was a nice film that decided it was going to break a few of the rules and go outside of the box a bit.
Just a bit.
And have things like fires in Santa's workshop and a reindeer that was useless at his job and served partly as comic relief and partly as a kind of almost kind of guide for the lead character to say, look, yeah, everything is going to shit at the moment, but, you know, keep at it, things will get better.
Yeah, which is kind of like the...
Yeah, Santa Claus himself isn't this kind of, oh, I'm just needlessly jolly all the time, look at me be awesome. He's this...
Oh, no, look at me be awesome!
Yeah, he's this old man who doesn't want to give up his job as being Santa Claus because he doesn't know what he's going to do after retirement. You know, he's scared for his future.
Yeah.
Which isn't something you normally see with Santa Claus. Normally he's this needlessly jolly old man.
Oh, God, yeah.
Not this time.
Ho, ho, ho.
This time he's actually got some kind of depth and personality. His wife is a little bit one-dimensional, but, you know, typical... It's a bit like David the Gnome's wife there.
David the Gnome.
Remember David the Gnome? Remember his wife? She was just basically there to be his anchor and rock and kind of the voice of sensibility. And that's all that Mrs. Claus, or Beatrice as her name turns out to be.
Beatrice?
Beatrice, yeah. That's all her role is in this film. And then, basically, Nicholas also has a love interest, whose name then becomes revealed at the end to be Beatrice as well, which just kind of ties it all in quite happily.
Always good.
Yeah. And yeah, I actually did quite enjoy this film, which kind of shocked me because I just quickly watched it on the fly just to see how an animation piece of software was used. And ended up going, that wasn't a bad film.
No, not at all.
Damn, what happened? When I can imagine me going through many other films going, well, that was a piece of shit, here are my long list of reasons.
Yes.
This one was a cheaply made, kind of, Australian-made piece of animation done by a small studio on what I could imagine would be a shoestring budget, and they pulled it off spectacularly, so more power to them.
Awesome.
So yeah, I was really quite happy with that.
So you liked it. Would you recommend it to our listeners?
Yes, definitely watch it at Christmas. If you're absolutely tired of the saccharine-rich features we get at Christmas time, this is a nice kind of grounded Christmas adventure which deals more with a kid's struggle to learn how to do shit that he's now been entasked with than it is about how the joys of Christmas are magical and wonderful and vomit-worthy.
Magical and wonderful and vomit.
Yeah, there is a lot.
Much of vomit.
There is a lot of saccharine vomiting at Christmas, isn't there? And so this was a nice step away from that. There is a little bit of saccharine vomiting, but, you know, it does kind of tie into the theme that it's a Christmas movie and has to have that by rule.
Yeah,
it's the law.
It's not necessarily a law; it's the law.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah,
dear God,
there was a little bit. There was a few elements of that, but overall, it was quite a nicely well-grounded film that took me completely by surprise.
Surprise butt rape.
Not quite that much.
So, well worth film to watch and recommended for our listeners. Lastly, I have Defiance, which is the pilot and the first 2 episodes. I'll talk mainly about the pilot. For those of you who are unaware, Defiance is the sci-fi new
It's a transmedia series.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's the new show that's been pitched by Sci-Fi.
Buzzword there.
Yeah. To
in this case, it's actually justified for once as well.
it's been pitched to replace what was Battlestar Galactica as the big, sweeping, epic sci-fi thing. Lots of CG, an entire world, lots of characters, and an MMO that's currently running. I'm not playing the MMO, so much of the
I'm
information
looking
I
at
don't
getting
know.
it soon.
Yeah,
Possibly. It does look fairly fun.
It looks fairly fun. I don't care. So the first episode starts up with it throwing you into this world and through the eyes of the military guy, I think Nolan, and his daughter, who's an alien, which
Adopted.
is adopted daughter, which is an alien, Arathian.
Do you want to give a quick rundown of the background to this series? People got some context for you.
Briefly, yeah.
Essentially, quite some time ago, a whole collective of alien races, very much like the Covenant from Halo, basically under one banner, several different races.
Yep.
They found out that their sun was very likely to go supernova in the fairly near future, so they scouted out possible worlds to colonize.
Yes.
Earth was one of those ones which they tagged as having no inhabitants and could be easily terraformed to support all of them.
Yes.
They then went into cold sleep, went there. When they woke up and arrived at Earth, they found out that, oh, fuck, there is civilization.
Mm-hmm.
A small war broke out between the Voltan Collective and the Republic of Earth.
Yep.
In the middle of that, after an uneasy truce was made, after the Pale Wars, they're called, an explosion went through the armada of colony ships, leading to a massive
belt of ruin floating around the Earth. Every so often, one of these ships will crash down to Earth. Occasionally, the terraforming gear on there will activate, go haywire, and it's generally fucked up wildlife and the planet for everyone involved.
Which is these arc falls, and it's also what everyone farms for technology to sell.
Some scavengers do, yeah. So essentially, the world setting is a really odd mix between Firefly, Babylon 5, and a little bit of town called Eureka.
Feels that way a little bit, but it starts
I'll talk about
off,
the best bits of all of these things as well.
It starts off with them outside of this and them finding an ark that's crashed. There's a brief dream sequence that's explained a little bit later on in the series. There's a brief bit as they then go into this of what the other guys are doing, because it's like find alien tech that could be sold for money for the Republic, the Earth Republic. Other people want that shit, so they'll just take it away from you Mad Max style. This guy, though, is quite a good military guy, so they do a run for it. However, his adopted daughter's been shot. They're then rescued by the sheriff and a bunch of other people from ginormous rats of unusual size. They're rescued and brought back to Defiance.
They were half bear, half something else, if I remember.
Rat.
Looked like bear to me.
Looked like rats from the front. These ginormous rat things. They're rescued
let's
by
mix bear and rat and call them bats.
At least you haven't had to see the skunk oxes yet.
No, but they're rescued by the sheriff and some of his posse and taken back to Defiance, which is this town which is in like this ravine because everything's been terraformed. It used to be some Earth city with an arch in it that Nolan originally come from, but you don't really properly learn that until later on in the series. Or it's not series, in the actual pilot episode. And it's like defended by this phase time warp shield thing, MacGuffin, that's there. You then wander into this town, which is filled by all these weird and wonderful alien races. Nothing's really properly explained, so you're like going, what the hell? And then the son of one of the human people who runs the mines, who you sit there and go, I know you from a fucking TV series, gets killed for reasons of unexplained, Stan. People are blaming people and aliens. Whole shit is going down. In the midst of this is an apparent betrayal and sabotage that's going on. And it's like some batshit crazy stuff that's going on. So you're not really following the story.
They usually explain as much as you need to know at that moment. And the rest of it you get from context.
Yeah,
which is nice. I don't like info dumps.
Yeah, there is no real proper info dump. There is lots of things going on. And explanation does indeed occur, but you have to take it as read. It's like, you're an alien because you're white and you got white hair. You're an alien because you're fucking huge. Oh, there's a biohuman. What? And your off switch is in your buttock.
It was the base of the spine just above the coccyx was where he kicked it in the end.
Yeah, well...
Although I did like the going for the low blow bit.
Yeah, but the space just above the coccyx. No, it was his right buttock.
Biomen were Earth-manufactured super soldiers.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Very much Earth-human thing. But it's like all of this weird stuff going on. And then sabotage to destroy the shield by this apparently trusted official who is working for reason to get everyone in the town killed.
There's a MacGuffin involved.
There's a MacGuffin involved. But then it's a case of, right, we need to defend our town. The new mayor goes, we need to defend our town. Everyone rally behind me. Yay, rally! And Nolan's like, I'm going now.
Because he is pretty much tired of fighting. This comes across as he was a special forces soldier at one point.
Yes.
Including one of the people who fought in one of the major battles that the town is named after.
Yes. Which is really quite fucked up because you know there's something not quite being told there. But he buggers off with his adoptive daughter. Halfway out of getting them from Dodge, he then goes, but we could make a difference. Daughter's like, no, fuck you, I want to go to Antarctica because that's what you've been talking about all of this time.
The sunny beaches of Antarctica.
Yeah, and then he goes, no, I could make a difference. And it's like, well, fuck you then. And off she goes. He buggers off back to the town, helps lead, brings the artifact and goes, here, this could really help. And they go, yes, it could destroy the Vorg or whatever it was.
The
Volge. Weird alien names. This massive, built-for-purpose battle alien who is it's like literally armoured mechs and things all ploughing towards this town.
biomechanical from the explanations I heard, and they weren't really invited with the rest of the aliens. They just somehow snuck on board the ships.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of dodgy stuff that goes on.
Phyllis, check your PMs.
Check my PMs. Oh, I have a PM.
Yeah. And the whole the whole pilot builds up to this battle in the ravine where they're fighting off these guys. Sudden turnaround where the adoptive daughter brings the biker gang that they'd seen right at the beginning come flowing through. Everyone wins. Massive explosion. Hurrah! The CG looks goddamn awful. But that American TV quality of goddamn awful. But it was really quite an enjoyable romp to go through. And after the pilot, as you start watching the episodes, they do get a lot better. There's a lot more character building. There's a lot more questions being asked. There's things that build upon things as the series goes, like you would expect. But there is always a solid idea for that particular story. It does seem to be a little bit of a... Because he's the sheriff, it does feel a little bit like Death of the Week. Let's investigate. A little bit. But
you slowly find out he had reasons for his change of heart. Even though he is, as they mentioned in the very beginning, deeply in hock to some shady character to get his arc activation key thing.
Yeah, dodgy shit. But
or as he called it, have you got the thingy?
The thingy. But there is a whole lot of stuff that is yet to be answered as the series is going on, because we're only up to episode 6. I've only seen up to 3.
I've liked the writing so far.
It's quality writing. The actors are good.
They've explained as much as we need to at any given moment.
Pretty much.
Some of it they have kept as you kind of have to play the game to get some more of the score of what happened.
That's kind of my only concern, because it is...
Well, they have said for quite a while that was their intention, is that the game and the series are meant to go hand in hand together.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but it feels a little bit when you're having to try and get through all of this stuff with the series.
That's what the Wikipedia's for.
Yeah.
To fill in any gaps in your knowledge, because you don't either play the game or watch the TV series.
But then I didn't need to do that with Battlestar. I mean, with Battlestar, there was questions that were not asked, but that was the point of the series. There was things that you had to ask and fathom out until you got to the end of season, or until you got to season 4, whereupon you then rewatched the entirety of 1, 2, and 3, and you went, that's what they were talking about, kind of thing. That I like. But this is early days. This is really early days.
Like I said, we are 6 episodes in now, with the 7th coming out tonight.
Yeah. So it's literally a case of we are now learning about this world that already has a 2nd season confirmed.
Well, to be fair, if they keep up the writing and still manage to ramp up the tension on this, then it will be worthy of a 2nd season.
Absolutely. And I can see this being a very good series to invest time in. I enjoyed the pilot.
Yeah, pilot was good. It wasn't excellent, but it was good. But after that, the 2nd episode is where it starts. The writing and the quality will really ramp up.
It does ramp up, and I enjoyed watching the series afterwards. In terms of recommending it, I think it really comes down to if you want and like sci-fi, because this is very much a sci-fi show. There's technology that has explanations in there. You aren't getting them straight away, but their explanations are in there. There are aliens and explanations in there. There's a lot of investment that you can put into this as a series to get more out of it. So if you're a fan of sci-fi and you like that kind of thing, then certainly
if it keeps up, it has the potential to be sitting in there with Babylon 5, Battlestar Galactica, and Firefly.
Pretty much. But I wouldn't say jump on it if you're not a real fan of sci-fi, because there is a lot of stuff in there that the show expects you to take as is. It's a case of you have to accept that these are aliens and they are there because, and certain things that you pretty much have to be up and running with. You can't go, well, why is this? Why
so there's a degree of narrativium involved.
It's not narrativium. It's a case of you have to then understand that these guys are there because of events.
Introducing elements slowly. Like they're slowly bringing in piece by piece, but not all at once. The idea that there's a bit of a schism amongst quite a few of the aliens, where you've got the conservative ones who value their traditions from their home planet and everything.
Yep.
And the current ones who've, started growing up in a whole new world with different values, with a whole new mix of people.
With humans.
So you have a warring values thing going on in the background to all this as well.
So there is a whole lot of potential stuff that can go in this series, but I would say if you want to actually invest in this, certainly have a look at the first 3 to 5. see what you like. But I'm not going to say recommend it to everybody because it is a series.
It's not going to be for everybody.
Yeah, it's
really.
not a series that I can say is instantly pick up and watch it.
If you like Firefly, you'll like the first couple of episodes.
Pretty much. But that's pretty much it for Done and Dusted. That was Sonic Unleashed by Felis, who dialed it in.
Phoned it in, more like.
Phoned it in. We have Santa's Apprentice by TK, and we have Defiance by myself.
The production values are kind of nice.
Yeah. If you want to double check those reviews, you can do so, as well as any of our other reviews, on our main site at tigertailsradio.co.uk. If you want to see any other information, you can go to our abundance of other sites via the main page. Lastly, to wrap up, The Voice. Is it still any good?
Yes. It was the second half of the battle stages.
Oh, which we missed because of Eurovision.
It was 2 episodes long because they're catching up on the backlog from the Eurovision gap.
Yes.
And, oh, wow.
Improvement in quality?
Well, pretty much, yes and no. Mm-hmm. There was a couple of battles that were absolutely jaw-droppingly astounding.
Okay.
And there were some positions where will.i.am made a couple of dubious choices, and at one point Jessie J got so upset she actually stormed off the stage.
Oh, I saw the trailer for that. So she really was pissed off with what will.i.am was doing.
She was absolutely livid because there was one guy she thought really should have gone through, but she'd already stolen.
All right.
And so wasn't able to steal him. And he didn't get stolen. And Jessie was like, I cannot believe that just happened. And she was absolutely lost for words and ended up in tears and storming off the stage.
Dear God.
So they had a recess, and then basically the second episode started.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, well. Thing is, they have kind of really invested a bit more in this in terms of several of the judges.
Yeah.
Because they're trying so hard to find someone to come out of this.
Yeah.
This time around. They're really wanting someone to come out of the end of
last
this.
Year.
Yeah, which was just diatribe, unfortunately.
Well, once it got past the blind stages, yeah. We're now into the knockout stages, which is a new one. And from what I can gather from the next week trail, it looks a lot like the battle stages again.
Yes.
So this will be interesting, but now they're trying to whittle down their team of 7 down to 3.
Yes.
So, and then, the lives begin, which basically where it turns into the X Factor.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how it all goes, really, with that one. I don't know. I mean, I can't remember last year what happened after the battles, because they whittled everything down.
It went straight to the lives.
It was straight to lives?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes, then.
By the looks of it, there isn't going to be as many lives this time, because each team's only going to have 3 members instead of the 4 or 5 they had last year.
Okay.
So the live section should be a lot shorter.
Well, we'll see. I mean, they've had the gap because of Eurovision. They've now whittled everyone down.
They've now caught up, and now it's into the knockouts. So it'll be interesting to see after the knockouts what the BBC is going to put in its place, because I can't imagine the live shows being all that long.
No.
And if they're not that long, that means there's space in the schedule for another programme.
Yes.
What's going to be put in that extra space? Because Doctor Who's finished.
Yep, Doctor Who has finished.
And Casualty is always on after The Voice, so it can't be Casualty.
Nope.
So that's like a 45-minute segment there that's open for the taking. And I've not yet heard the BBC announce anything that's going to be going in its spot.
No, which is a bit of a shame.
So what is the BBC doing with it?
Maybe they should bring back Eternal Law, because that was good while it was on.
I'd like another series of Merlin, but that's not going to happen because they finished it.
There's possibility of Sherlock, isn't there?
Not really. Not at 90 minutes.
That's coming out next year.
90 minutes an episode, no. There is no chance of Sherlock.
Like I said, they've already had the announced dates for the next series of Sherlock.
I am looking forward to Sherlock.
Mm-hmm.
I am so looking forward to Sherlock. I mean, fuck Doctor Who. Sherlock is where it's at. That's where Stephen Moffat can actually go and play.
Yeah.
And he's not just being a fan. He's actually going, this is a really good series. This is how we do really good series. Check this shit out.
Yep.
Plus, Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, who wouldn't?
That's a good point. I've seen the new Star Trek, by the way.
Oh, have you?
Oh, Benedict Cumberbatch is fucking awesome in that.
I'm going to have to obtain a legitimate review copy, aren't I? Damn.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
I think I'm definitely what they call a Cumberbitch.
Yes, you are.
Even though he's ginger?
Even though he's ginger. I know. Well, it's a miracle what hair dye can do. And Photoshop.
Well, yeah, he's never been seen with his natural hair colour on TV.
Exactly.
Even his original, small roles he dyed his hair for.
Can you blame him? Really? Can you blame him?
No.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to more Sherlock on my telly.
Absolutely.
Because that was a good series, BBC.
Oh, God.
Do more of that. I don't mind that there's only ever 3, because they're effectively a feature film each. 90 minutes long. So yeah, I don't mind there only being 3. It's effectively 9 half-hour episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you. Give me. I mean, even a series of Mongols didn't last that long.
No,
they were only 8.
You heard the Dave news for that, didn't you?
What, Mongols?
Dave?
I think
Dave picked up Mongrels, and they may or may not decide to make a new season.
I hope they do.
But they picked up the rights to rebroadcast.
Yeah, I know they picked up the rights to rebroadcast because they were showing it. But basically, Dave is where BBC programs go to die, so...
You know, like cash converters for Colin McRae and Madden games.
Yeah. Or electric guitars when it comes to the year students have to move out of their uni digs.
Yes.
It's brilliant. At the end of term, if you want a cheap electric guitar, get a cash converter. It's just after the end of a school, college, university term.
If you want an acoustic guitar, go to the local park in summer, find the nearest douche who's trying to pick up girls with one, kick him in the nuts, take it and run away.
To be honest, not many of them do now.
You can pick up 5 or 7 in a 5-minute jaunt through the park, really.
What, girls or guitars?
Girls.
Yes.
Oh my.
The question is how many of them will end up fearless? All of them.
Harsh.
We're harsh to feelers because we care. We care.
About the amount of likes they can get for being harsh to feelers.
Says you, who puts stuff up and then goes, I get more likes about the negative things in my life.
I think I did get a fair few likes on a post in which I ranted at my past self.
Yes, I saw that. That was insane.
And then a few likes and what the fucks for the post where I made a mini story about enlisting my future self to create a time travel device, negating the need to create a time travel device, going to the past and killing past me, creating a small paradox.
Yeah. I stopped reading after a while.
Did it make your brain hurt?
Yeah, it made me cry.
You always put your grey pants over your head and pretend it didn't happen.
But I'm surprised there's only one person picked up on the end of that and went, wait, what do you mean this? You've learned from your mistake this time. Like, it happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
What do you reckon the chances of Hedgie making us popcorn?
Well, he just left.
I'd rather make him make popcorn for us.
Well, that's true,
to be honest.
Yeah, that is a much more fair point. I would rather that.
Would you like some popcorn, Tigo?
I wouldn't say no to some popcorn in all fairness.
Oh, God. So that's pretty much it then for TigerTails.
I feel happy now.
Radio. We have one thing that we do need to mention. We have a barbecue on the Common.
Let's not forget that. Yeah.
Yep. It is a meet and greet with the cast of TigerTails
Bear in mind
Radio.
That inevitably I will be the only cast member hanging around, as about 5 minutes after introductions are made, these two are going to be running off all over the fucking place with their phones.
Not on Southampton Common. There's fuck all on Southampton Common.
No, there's a couple in the cemetery in the top of Southampton Common.
Oh, God, I'm not walking that far. But yes, so we have a barbecue. It is on Sunday, July 28th.
Put an application for some points in now.
Yeah, they should be ready by that then.
We have Sunday, July 28th. It is between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. at the Common. I don't know about staying details. As far as I'm aware, we may not actually have stuff.
A couch/mattress available for people.
But if you require that, you're going to have to PM or email directly to TigerTails Radio at email@TigerTailsRadio.co.uk.
Or you can leave a message on our Facebook page. You can private message us through that.
Yep,
yes, you can. Facebook or Google+.
I know, because I look at the messages, and for some reason, the only messages we've got are ones where I was yelling at my little sister. Somehow logged into the chat function through TigerTails Radio. I'm not sure how that happened.
No, but there we go.
But if you want to say that you are coming, please go to Facebook/TigerTails Radio. Oh, excuse me, or Google Plus and TigerTails Radio. We have the events. Please let us know you're coming, so that way we at least have an idea of how much meat we have to try and pack into a car.
And hopefully by then I'll have a Costco card.
Yes, we will keep you informed in regards to what's going on. But effectively, we're just looking at a meetup at the Common. Nerfing, maybe some games. If it's a nice sunny day, there will be stuff going on in terms of wandering around for ice creams and pool. If it's raining, we probably will have some sort of contingency
plan,
but
which
we don't know.
May or may not involve the food factory.
Yes.
Because that's a place where you can feed your face and it's reasonably cheap.
Feed your face.
Oh, yeah. I like the
Feed
food factory. It's quite convenient for face feeding.
Face feeding.
Nom, 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 nom.
So I think
there will be no testicles this time.
Well, they're not.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Shame. So for now, I think we need to wrap things up.
Indeed. So on that note, it is a good night from the Fearless.
Good night.
It's good enough for Xavier.
Good night.
And it's good enough for myself, TK. Thank you very much for listening to this week's Twaddle and Stuff.
Stuff.
We will be back next week for a show that may or may not overrun quite as much as this one did. We don't know yet.
No.
But needless to say...
I could try to make a 20-minute review if you really want to.
Because then we'll just put it on the gaming site and leave it at that.
And it'll be done.
Yes.
So, it's night-night, everybody.
Night-night.
Night-night. Why aren't you pressing?
Because you're not pressing it.
Shut up.